We're student gamers at Minnesota State Mankato, and we had a big idea. Turn our love of gaming into a varsity esports team. In our first year, we earned a national championship and created a fun and friendly community for both competitive and casual gamers. We're learning broadcasting, digital marketing, and live stream technology, skills that translate to real-world job opportunities. Everyone wins. Be a Maverick. Learn more at mnsu.edu.
Okay. Yep. Hello, testing. Welcome, everybody. This is your host, Moon, and we have some League of Legends today for Maverick Esports. We're going to be playing DePaul University in a best of 3 on League of Legends, so it'll be very exciting to see what's going to go down today, whether it's going to go all the way to map 3 or if we'll just play 2 maps. We'll see what happens, but we'll be able to catch the draft of the Champ Select before we get started, so we'll be waiting whenever they get through. But so it will be a second before that happens. But thank you guys for tuning in. Just want to give a quick reminder for our socials. That way you never miss another notification of these streams. And you can see us on Maverick Esports. If you guys could swap to the social. There you go. At Esports MNSU, whether that is on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and TikTok. Check us out, see the notifications. But let's get right into the draft, see what is going on and what will be going down as we get the first few bands going here. If you guys could, there we go. All right. So we will be getting a Lulu pick to start. We'll see if that will go down to support. Most likely will be. But, you know, Lulu has been one of those champions that in recent years has been able to play around with where that character is. But she's generally speaking thought of as a support. But, you know, we'll never see. We'll see what they end up cooking up with that one. As the bands were mostly on the supports. We got Seraphine, Janna band, as well as Belveth is a jungler. But we got Samira and Smolder, as well as Twitch and Belveth band. But that's going to be a Kaisa and Rel down in the bot lane. That's going to be a very interesting combo. Kaisa is generally a longer range, but she can very much be a very interesting hybrid pick when it comes to her damage profile. And Rel is the heavy engaged support. I haven't seen Rel in a while, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with how she pairs up. Although it's possible Rel is not in support. Sometimes there has been a few metas where she has been whether in the jungle or top lane, but we'll see what happens with that. As well as we're going to be picking up the Zeri. So it looks like it could be a Zeri Lulu bot lane for Maverick Esports here. It'll be very interesting to see how that attack speed can ramp up together. But both Zeri and Kaisa are very heavy scaling ADCs that will really show their power towards the late game. So it'll be very interesting to see how they develop and whether the bot lane is really going to be the winning lane that's going to make the difference or not. We will be also seeing a Poppy pick from Maverick Esports. I expect Poppy to be on top lane, generally speaking, but you know, we'll see if they mess around with the flex pick. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting, and as well as Vi should be in the jungle, so we'll see what happens with that Vi pick. But did want to just give a quick reminder that we did have our merch for Maverick Esports announced. A few announcements throughout our socials as well, so you can pick up a hoodie, t-shirt, sweatshirt, as well as there was an arm sleeve and a limited tapestry. I made sure to pick that up. It looks pretty cool, but that one will only be available for a limited time, so pick that one up while it lasts if you are a big fan of Maverick Esports here. But finally able to get that up. Thank you, Fat Cap, for the sponsorship on the merch side. They've been great. They make amazing jerseys for us, and we're nothing but happy about being sponsored by Fat Cap. But for the other bands, we will be seeing Ari and Akali, so 2 mid laners banned. That's going to be an interesting one to see. And still got 2 more bands before the final 4 players will pick their characters, so it'll be interesting. But as you can see, there's plenty of socials down below, whether that is Hot96, Gravity Gaming, as well as a few of our other sponsors, Rockstar Energy Drinks, Spectrum Industries, and the Minnesota State University Mankato campus computer store. So thank you all for those sponsors. Check those out. They're always great and always good with the Rockstar Energy Drinks as well. Let's hope we can get another shipment of those as we went through those very fast. But if we can go back to the draft, we should be seeing a few more champions picked up here as Gragas and Orianna will be banned. So we got 3 mid laners banned. So it'll be very interesting. Orianna has always been a very, very strong champion in these games. So we'll see what happens. We'll be getting a Silas mid. So another very strong engage heavy mid laner. It'll be very interesting to see as we have got Rel, Vi, and Silas all have very good engage potential. So we'll see a very, very aggressive team-oriented play, protecting that Kaisa and making things happen fast rather than trying to draw things out. As we'll see what Maverick Esports will pick up last on these two picks. We'll actually see Annie. That'll be interesting to see. Annie is a very one-dimensional character, so I don't know how well that'll play out. I haven't really seen her. I don't think she's ever really been played a lot in the more competitive stage. But, you know, it could be very interesting. I think it could be up to the Annie being a little bit of a counter to Silas. I would hope that's their thought process behind that. But we'll see what our mid laner can cook up with that one, as it'll be an Olaf picked up last. So I'm going to suspect Olaf should be down in the jungle with Poppy up top, and it should be Zeri Lulu as the bot lane combo for Maverick Esports for today on game one, with DePaul University picking up the Kaisa, Rel, and bot lane. Looks like a Vi jungle, Silas mid, and this last one should be their top laner. We'll see what they decide to pick up on. If they're gonna, oh, they not pick? That'll be interesting. All right. I'll get back to you guys on that, but we should be back in a little bit of a break. We got a little bit of a spectator delay before the game starts, so we'll be back with you guys in a few minutes. So stick with us, and we'll get some League of Legends going. Welcome back, everybody, as we have hit the rift ready for Game 1 of Maverick Esports versus DePaul University in a best-of-3, as we will see what the teams are going to be up to, whether they will do little shenanigans before the minions spawn, or if they'll be a little bit more passive and just let things play out without being a little too aggressive. But I suspect with the team of DePaul, I wouldn't be surprised if they look for an invade, but you know, sometimes you never know what to expect. We just got plenty of people set up in their bushes waiting to see, watching for those invades and just covering the map. But we will be waiting a few minutes before things start to get going here, as we got a long game ahead of us. So just stick around and we'll see what plays out. As will be Poppy in the jungle, okay, and Olaf in top. So I had those mixed around. I thought Poppy might have been up top, but it is going to be the jungle Poppy. Always love to see it. Very good engage tools from the character. As we see actually a little bit of some trading between the Olaf and Cassante. The axes are being thrown around. It's very low. So that's going to be very good start for our top laner. As it will be a leash on the red buff. Ooh, he might be able to look to steal. As he's just going to harass Vi off of red buff, it looks like. Silas and Cassante are both going to be rotating around. Oh, this is going to be very interesting, as he looks to just be wasting time. Always love to see that little shenanigans from our top laner here at Maverick Esports. As we have the first minion wave being cleared out, with second one crashing in. See what happens. But I suspect both these teams will be very passive, especially our bot lane. It's going to be a lot more passive, just because that Rel's engage and potential is just a lot better. But we do have the level 2 advantage. They might be looking to poke around here, but it is going to be level 2 from both sides, as nothing ends up developing down in bot lane. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see who is going to go down first, whether it'll be due to a jungle gank or not, or if it's just going to be a straight up lane diff, as I like to call it, if one is going to be gone through, as Annie is actually going to do plenty of damage to Silas down mid. Silas is one of those characters with a pretty good amount of sustain, so nothing is going to come of that. As he's going to be able to heal it up, but he's going to be actually half HP. Looks like Poppy's going to come in, the Ignite is out, but he's going to have to flash out. Looks like he should have to back out of that and force the mid laner out from DePaul. But ooh, he's actually staying around. Be very interesting. Okay, he is going to be maybe not exactly the best spot for him. Poppy is chilling around on the red side chickens, waiting to see if maybe he could jump over the wall. He's going to flash, engage onto the Silas. Oh no. He's going to go down to Vi on the counter gank, and just poor timing with taking one too many tower shots, as it's going to have to force our Skylofts away from the mid lane. And that is definitely not what you want to see to start off this game. But it does look like is some good signs down the bot lane, as they're going to... Ooh, the Kaisa is very low. Oh, she's like 1 HP. But not enough damage to follow through on that. No summoner spells are used from the bot lane. So very good trades for Maverick Esports to force them out, get some free CS to work with. As I really do think this game is going to come down to whichever bot lane can scale harder. I think that's going to be the very big thing to note between the Zeri and Kaisa, as both of them are hyper scaling. But we will be seeing plenty of trading between the Olaf and Cassante, as Olaf's going to get the Cassante very low, but it's going to be Vi actually coming in from the jungle. But the Poppy is en route, but I don't think they're going to be there in time. Gets a shield, is going to have to use the flash, but Poppy is here, stuns the Cassante, and gets the kill on the Cassante, as well as, they're going to pick up the Vi with a double kill for Olaf in the top lane with an amazing counter gank to get revenge after that poor gank down the middle. Yeah, that's definitely what you want to see. I mean, DePaul got first blood off of the counter gank, but we were able to get a double kill off of the counter gank up top. So actually much better situation for us in the in the long run, with Olaf actually having double buffs to work with, so it's going to be very scary for the Cassante to be here in lane. So we are going to be seeing the grubs get picked up. Only one gets picked up, as they have plenty of people chilling around mid, as the Rel did end up rotating up. Oh no, the Annie's going to be looking to get dove onto. Vi's going to hit the... Oh, the stun comes out from Annie, and just completely shutting down any engage that they have with Polymorph. Ooh, actually it was both supports that were up in the mid lane. It was both ADCs down alone in bot. It's going to be very interesting to see if they will choose to decide to do anything or not. But it is going to be the grubs picked up for Maverick Esports. These are the first three of the map, with very good priority on the top side to be working with. Olaf still having double buffs. They're going to have it for about a minute or two longer, I think. And looks like the Cassante... Oh, Cassante's full HP, so he could be working with something here, but I don't know. It's going to be very interesting if he can choose to do anything. The dash that comes out from Silas, but it's going to be a stun with Tibbers coming out from Annie, as the Silas is just going to get whittled down by the fire, and he is going to go down with just poor choice of words, or poor timing, to say the least, as the Vi engage actually comes down onto the Lulu, makes a connection, but not enough to drop the Lulu down. And it's going to be Lulu that actually picks up the Rel, with Zeri picking up Vi as well, but it's going to be Olaf on the top that gets taken down by Cassante, all alone up there. But we will see very good stuff from bot lane as we get a double kill. It might actually be the third one, as it's going to be the Kai'Sa going down, but it does look like the Lulu will be taken out by the tower. But there's plenty of plates for the Zeri, and maybe Dragon. It actually might be Silas that might look to take this Dragon from the Poppy, but it's going to be Zeri waiting here. Oh no, he's not in a very good spot. It's going to be the hijack from Silas coming out onto the Zeri, but not in a position for him to use it. So he's going to be holding on to that Zeri ult. We'll see whether that will help him win out in mid. But I don't know. Tibbers is definitely going to be the stronger ult between the two down in mid here. So we'll see what happens the next time around on this next engage between the two. It's just going to be the Annie in a very good spot. It's going to be actually Olaf on the Krugs getting engaged on by Vi, but Vi is not level 6 yet, as more of, of the Vi's jungle camps are getting stolen left, right, and center, just unable to get any XP, as Olaf is going to be looking to just run around, waiting them out. He might actually get executed by the tower. Oh, he's still alive. As it looks like it's going to be Dragon that's picked up as Olaf finally goes down to the Nexus towers. Very interesting thing to see there, but the important part from that was that he died to the towers, not to the champions. So the gold did not go to them. It's definitely what you want to make sure happens when you're in that very unfortunate spot. So he gets the Krug stolen, as well as gets out without any real harm done. Maybe a plate or two from the top lane is going to be given up for that, but you know, I think that's definitely worth it to kind of keep that Vi in check, stick around top side, and give opportunity for the Dragon to be taken, as it might be a Rel engage here. He's going to get polymorphed as the Vi is waiting in the tri-bush. Definitely need to make sure that they ward this out early, but it's going to be the Lulu that gets actually jumped onto, as they're going to choose to not engage now that the tri-bush has been warded. It's going to be the Rel. The Vial comes down onto the Zeri, but it's just too much damage coming out, and the Lulu ult is nowhere to be found yet, as he's still on level 5, so not able to save the Kai'Sa from that engage, as this is going to be both ADCs going down in the bot lane after that little bit of an engage from the Vi. Definitely the very interesting ult from Vi. Now, Cease and Desist does just straight up target whoever she wants, and they are not going to be happy about that one, as the Zeri did go down because of it. And like I said earlier during the draft, it's going to be a very engage-heavy team on the side of DePaul, with the Vi ult being a very good engage tool to work with. When Rel, you saw trying to set up for the engage as well. Just not able to find anything until the ward was found out, as just a little bit of trading between the Olaf and Cassante is going down. But going to be a little bit of a lull in the action to see what happens here. With just focusing on getting that CS very decent lead from Maverick Esports on the gold side to work with. And honestly, part of that you can see in the CS numbers with just a much bigger lead from Maverick Esports. And ooh, this is going to be very bad as Zeri is going to be looking to get tower dove here. And can they survive? It does not look like they will be, as it is very clean. Oh, it's going to be Tibbers coming out, and it stuns the Silas, but not enough damage as the Electrocute just barely does enough. Takes him down below half, though, as mid is going to be in a very good spot for Annie. But yeah, that tower dive down bot, there's just unfortunately nothing you can do as Zeri, especially if you do not have your... Ooh, the stun came out on the Silas, but not enough follow-up, as he's going to end up having to use his flash to get away. And it looks like there might be... Oh, I don't know which tower is going to go down. It's hard to tell. Nope, the Vi is going to be mid, so definitely not mid. It might actually... No, they were not able to take down bot tower either. But both of them are very low to work with here, as well as a few plates going down on the top side for Olaf to get that gold lead and keep it going up in the top lane. It's going to be Cassante that actually picks up a lot of defensive items. No, I don't see any Thornmail items. That'll be interesting. Now to keep in mind, Thornmail does reduce, and the items associated with Thornmail do reduce healing, and that's going to be a big deal with Olaf. He's actually going to pick up his Ravenous Hydra to start off with, and that is a very good advantage for him. It's going to be Polymorph on the Rel, engage, and just going to be unable to follow through. Has very good disengage tool from Lulu. Now that is something I didn't mention, as Lulu is actually probably one of the better champions when it comes to disengaging on anything, and so that'll be very interesting to see whether she gets the attack speed bonuses to the Zeri, as well as shields, the knockup from the ult of Wild Growth, as well as plenty of annoying things, including Polymorph and a handful of slows. So very good support to work with on disengaging, and that's going to be very important to see, and very important to be making sure you make perfect use out of that. As we're going to see a little bit of some CSing behind the tower of the Olaf, as he's just going to be clearing stuff. He's just going to get thrown under the tower by Cassante, and oh yeah, that's a champion in this game. Yeah, I refuse to believe that character is anything but balanced, especially since I remember him, I think he's supposedly been nerfed from where he was. I don't know. I still don't even understand what that character does. I don't think I ever will, because all he does is jumping around, has way too many displacements, and he just doesn't die. So, you know, that's definitely the fun stuff you see with the tank champions. It's going to be Tibbers actually coming out on the Vi, but nothing's going to go through as the cease and desist onto just 3 ults being stacked onto the Annie, as it's actually going to be Annie getting ignited. Oh, he's going to go down to the Rel Ignite. And they're not able to actually pick up anything, as the Vi ends up surviving through all of that. It's just unfortunate to see. I think it was actually a hijacked Wild Growth from Silas as well. And I believe that's what kept the Vi up. It's hard to tell with just everything being on top of each other there. But very good fighting from DePaul University to clear out that Annie. But again, the main person I think to be looking at is going to be the Olaf here for Maverick Esports, as the flash stun is going to come off from Poppy onto Silas. He's going to go down to the Olaf as well. Some more gold funneled his way. Very good to see, as that could be one of the big win conditions for Maverick Esports. But it's going to be an engage onto the Poppy, but now not in a spot to where they can follow up. But it looks like it will be the mid tower going down first. Oh, no, sorry. The mid tower went down second. Bot tower already had gone down, as they are going to be trading Dragon for the first top tower. Definitely probably a good trade to be working with here, considering you do get the Earth Drake, so it increases the tankiness a little bit, but we'll see what Soul chooses to spawn here, as it looks like it's going to be the Hextech Soul, as we get Hextech gates. Now, to reiterate on these guys, basically there's a handful of gates set up around the map that teams will be able to use to teleport from base to each buff, as well as there's another gate between the sides of the river, but it looks like it will be the Rift Herald that goes down by the Vi. A flash engage from Rel, as it's going to be, oh no, He's not. Oh, the Lulu ult comes out, but is not enough to keep them alive. As it is going to be Kaisa that finishes off the Lulu with a very good engage from their team, with the Rel being able to get the stun off with, I think that was the Magnet Storm. I forget what that ability looks like off the top of my head, so I do apologize for that. But again, with the engages, that was definitely what you want to see from DePaul, but not exactly what you want to see for Maverick Esports, as they're really going to have to make sure they can get their Zeri online, get the items that she needs to work with, as well as making sure their Olaf can keep the pressure going and keep Cassante in check, because the Cassante is going to be a very dangerous character to be working against. So it'll be very interesting whether those two, or what's going to happen with those two here. As it looks like the Zeri and Lulu are chilling around in the top lane, but it looks like they're going to screw off for a little bit. Has just a little bit of a lull. No objectives really to work with at the moment. Now, DePaul does have Rift Herald, so we'll see whether they choose to spawn that guy. I don't know who got, oh, it was Vi that has the Rift Herald. So we'll see where the Vi is going to choose to go with that one. But that'll be probably the only thing to be keeping in mind for now, because we do have a little bit of time. Oh, I can't see the timers for Dragon. I don't know how to pull this up. That's annoying. We'll try to fix those. We'll try to get those up and running again soon. But we should be in a few minutes. We'll see Dragons, so they could be looking to set up for that. But they have plenty of time to work with. So again, just the focus right now is going to be the towers and seeing where DePaul chooses to drop this Rift Herald. Now, it actually might be an engage from the Annie, as Tibbers is going to come out on the Silas. He's going to get stunned. Flashes the way, but is going to be hit by Ignite. It looks like he's going to survive with a sliver of HP off the engage. So we're going to trade Flash away from the Silas for our Ignite, which is very good. But it's going to be cease and desist coming out onto the Zeri, as the Lulu ult's going to try to keep him alive for a little bit longer. There's going to be Vi that goes down, but Zeri is going to fall. There's going to be the Poppy looking to engage. Gets a stun onto one, as he's going to actually find the kill on the Rel. And it's going to be, the Polymorph comes out on the Kaisa as well, so it's going to be a double kill for Poppy, as it's just Cassante left to work with, as Poppy and Cassante are both very high HP. It's going to be Lulu helping around with Olaf just coming in now from the river, so it should be the Cassante going down here any second, as he is just surviving for much longer than I feel like he should, but it's going to be the Olaf that picks up the kill on the Cassante. That's going to be 12 to 8 kills here for Maverick Esports, with actually about close to a 5K gold lead to work with, so very good pacing from Maverick Esports. Still have the Rift Herald, so we'll see whether DePaul can work with that. It's actually going to be a TP up to top to prevent that tower from going down. Very interesting to see. I don't know if that was necessary, as the Olaf was already recalling, but they obviously did not realize that, so not surprised. He's going to make sure he picks up a little bit of XP and looks to push in the top tower. Yeah, it's a very interesting game so far. Although, so we got 3 Grugs, or 3, yeah, Void Grubs for Maverick Esports, but the Rift Herald was for Vi, but we do have Dragon advantage. Now, I think Dragon's going to be kind of the main thing right now. It's actually going to be the Olaf looking to engage on the Silas, as Silas hijacks his ult, but he's just not going to be able to do anything through that Ragnarok, as that is a very, very strong ability for Olaf, as he just prevents any CC, and Silas definitely really just rely on that to pick up kills with the CC that he has. So I'm not surprised to see how easy of a kill that was for Olaf, considering he has a substantial gold lead to work with. So very, very scary champion on the Rift right now, as he's just going to be looking to split push up top, as the Hex Tech Drake has spawned, as well as Rift Herald was thrown down in the bot. So it looks like it should be DePaul that picks this up. We'll see if Poppy can maybe find something happening here. Nope, he's going to... oh, they're going to be actually closing down in mid. They're actually looking to push down on the towers. That's going to be Olaf that picks up maybe another kill onto the Silas. And Silas is going to go down for a second time to Ragnarok again, as they're going to pick up 2 towers for trading that dragon. Now, Hextech Dragon is not exactly the most powerful on its own, but that really can scale up. So it looks like they did choose to go that, but it's going to be, oh, I think the Rel screwed up their dash over the wall, and it's going to be Vi that goes down to the Zeri as the Rel is going to get stunned into the wall, and Olaf will pick up the kill on that one, as it's going to be a very good setup for Maverick Esports. It looks like they should be able to play around Baron off of that one. I think they actually get Baron. Yeah, that's actually just a huge, huge play for Maverick Esports, as they chose to push down the towers and give up Dragon, and they end up winning the fight on top lane, and now they get a free Baron. That's exactly what you want to see for Maverick Esports, and the opposite of anything you want to see for DePaul, as they're going to be looking to back up and regroup to see where this push is going to go. Now, I don't suspect they'll win off of this, but it's going to be very, very difficult for DePaul to really come back from this one, as they have a substantial 10K gold deficit, as well as looking to have to defend against a team of full Baron buff. Now, for those who don't know, Baron buff does buff all the minions. So the minions will get a little bit larger and have a little bit of a purple like shield looking thing on them, and they are very, very scary. They're going to be much more tankier, so it takes a lot longer for them to go down, as well as they're going to do more damage. So not only is it harder to kill the minions for the defending team, it's harder for the towers and their own minions to do anything, and they just kind of get run over. So we'll see how it's looking here. It's going to be a 4-1 split, so it looks like 4 people stacked up around mid, with Olaf splitting down bot lane, but it is going to be the Poppy that looks to be chilling around in the jungle. Not anywhere to be working with. We'll see if the engage is going to come out here, as the towers just, you can tell, are getting shredded, as a cannon minion is able to shoot outside of the tower range. It's going to be the Olaf jumped on, as he's going to have to burn Ragnarok, as he's going to go down to the cease and desist, and it was also the Kaisa Killer Instinct ult that went down as well. It's going to be Tibbers. Oh, they're going to find one on the Silas, as the Vi is just going to be chased down. I think they choose to disengage from the Vi, and the Vi is just going to run away, but they do have the tower bot, and the mid tower goes down as well to nothing but minions, as they were unable to defend. It's going to be the bot and mid inhibitors that should go down from DePaul. I don't think they won't be able to take anything top, but that is a very good Baron buff play to work with here, as now we get some super minions. So not only are they, those also can get buffed by Baron, so I can't tell the duration of the Baron buff, unfortunately, from this perspective. So it should be wearing out soon, if I can recall. So they won't be able to make another push like that, but a very good results, to say the least. But now it's just up to DePaul to seeing if they can really hold together, wait for those inhibitor turrets to spawn back up, and see if they can try to counter push anything, but it's not looking good for them. A 17-9 deficit with nearly, actually they lowered the gap slightly, but it's still around a 10K gold lead for Maverick Esports. It's going to be very difficult for them to come back to. But this is League of Legends. Anything could happen, but we do still have a very scary Olaf and a pretty equally as scary Poppy in the jungle here. And it's just going to be impossible for them to really engage onto this area. It looks like it is going to be a 5-man crash into the top tower, and they should go down shortly, as not. There's just no defense to be found in sight, and it's going to be Cassante and Silas just getting deleted with a Wild Growth Ragnarok Olaf. That is a fun thing to see. Not only does he get more HP and CC immune, he has a shield on top of it and just runs faster. Definitely scary looking. It's going to be the polymorph on the Rel that goes out, as it's just going to be CC throwing left, right, and center, as the Vi is going to fall. Rel is going to fall here for the double kill as Zeri, as it looks like they will not pick up the last kill on Kaisa, as it is going to be the Nexus going down for game 1 for Maverick Esports here.
as they will confirm that victory. So we will see whether DePaul can follow through for game 2 or not. Definitely got to make sure we respect that and see what happens with game 2. So we should be back here in a few minutes. Hopefully, we'll be able to pull up the draft again like we did and go through that as it goes. Hopefully, I'll try to explain as best what's happening with that for those listening at home. But thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back soon.
We're student gamers at Minnesota State Mankato, and we had a big idea. Turn our love of gaming into a varsity esports team. In our first year, we earned a national championship and created a fun and friendly community for both competitive and casual gamers. We're learning broadcasting, digital marketing, and live stream technology, skills that translate to real-world job opportunities. Everyone wins. Be a Maverick. Learn more at MNSU.edu.
All right, welcome back, folks. As we're going to be getting here started with Map 2's draft, we'll see what teams we'll decide to do, as we will see a Lulu Seraphine ban from Maverick Esports here, with Belveth again banned on the side of DePaul, with Annie actually getting banned out here, so we might be able to see Silas played from them if they choose to go with that route. So we get Ezreal banned as well. So that'll be interesting to see with Jenna being banned from Mavericks. So we'll see what we got on first pick, as we're going to get first pick Smolder, another one of the newer characters here for League of Legends. I wish I could explain him as better as I knew some of the other guys, but it's definitely not as good knowledge on that one. So it'll be interesting to see what they can do with him, whether it's going to be up top. I did hear from one of our players that he might actually be better down in mid. So it could be a Smolder mid, as it looks like it's actually going to be a Nautilus picked up for Maverick Esports here. Very heavy engaged support, kind of like the rel that we saw from DePaul, but there's no Lulu to kind of do that counter gank or the counter engage. So it'll be very interesting to see whether the bot lane will play out well for Maverick Esports doing that strategy, as well as we'll see a Wukong. Now Wukong could be jungle, could be top. We'll see what happens if they decide to do that one. But he's very interesting character, very tricky to work with. I suspect top lane, but I wouldn't be surprised. It's actually, it looks like it'll be Rel again. Nope, they're going to choose to go Leona. Now, Leona's always a fun character. Another one of those heavy engaged supports. So we'll see two tank supports down in bot lane. So it'll be a very, hopefully exciting one. We'll see if the teams decide to choose ADCs that are going to scale better towards the late game, or if they're going to try to do some more early game ADCs. We'll see what happens with that. Now, it looks like it's going to be a Karthus mid, and they're still hovering it. They haven't locked it. Okay, it's going to be Karthus mid. That'll be interesting. He's one of the more interesting mages, to say the least. He's one of the only mages that kind of wants to die, because when he gets, or when he dies, he has a little bit of a death passive that allows him to keep throwing out his abilities, and most importantly, is able to get his ult off, which is a 5-man ult that does damage to all 5 members of Maverick Esports, no matter where they are on the map. So could be a very interesting way to securing those kills. We're going to see Kaisa actually picked up for Maverick Esports. So we're going to see Kaisa Nautilus bot lane. Very good stuff between the two. Very good synergy for the most part, and very good engage to work with. There's actually going to be Poppy banned, and actually going to be an Olaf ban. Now, that's pretty funny. I know our top laner loves to play Olaf sometimes, and like you saw with last game, he was just an unstoppable force, and quite literally was unstoppable, as his ult, Ragnarok, is able to let him just not take any form of CC, as always a little bit of a rage-inducing ability to have to play into. But he is going to be banned here, so no Olaf today. But I do think it was the Wukong picked up top, so I kind of think that ban was not really needed. Although they could be suspecting the Wukong is going to be jungle, which is probably more likely if that is the case. They probably know what's happening a little bit better than I do. But it's going to be Cassante banned away for Maverick Esports. And, you know, I like this ban. We saw the Cassante last game. Now, the Cassante wasn't able to do anything, but notably Olaf got banned. So we don't have that response to the Cassante if they choose to go that route. So very smart bans seen, as well as the Ahri is going to be the one banned. Now, I question this. I don't think the Ahri is necessary. Now, Ahri could play really well into Karthus, though, so that is probably one of their thought processes behind that. They're actually going to be Gragas picked up for the next pick for Maverick Esports. So I suspect that's going to be a Gragas jungle then. So it should be Wukong up in the top lane. So we'll see. It looks like the mid laner is going to be the only thing for Maverick that is not picked, as well as the top and jungle is going to be needing to be picked from DePaul. It looks like it's going to be, what is that character? I don't remember that character's name. It's like Nefiri or something. But it's going to be Renekton picked up top. So it's going to be the jungler. I'll get that. Actually, I should be able to find that name in a second. I
can't really see it from this distance, as that is one of the newer characters. It's essentially a champion that's a pack of dogs, or wolves rather. So I don't know, that'll be interesting to see, but we'll actually see Yasuo picked up in mid. Now, I don't know if this is, I don't know, I question this into Karthus, whether that will be worthwhile. But we'll see what happens. The Yasuo definitely has a little bit of an advantage when it comes to the aggressiveness against Karthus. Notably, his wind wall is not really going to be useful at all. But the Yasuo will be able to take a lot more damage from the Karthus, and maybe he'll be able to sustain a little bit longer than some other picks. So we'll see what happens there. Now, so we should be back in a few minutes with when we hit the rift. So stay tuned, but do remember to follow us on social, as well as we got plenty of our sponsors chilling around. So don't forget to follow us at esports MNSU on all of our socials. So we should be back in a few minutes, though.
right, welcome back, folks. As we're going to be hitting the riff for Game 2 between Maverick Esports and DePaul University. For those who are just tuning in, we have a 1-0 score for Maverick Esports. They just need to win this match to close out the series for today. But it looks like we might actually be seeing a little bit of action here to start with, as it might be. Actually, it's going to be an invade on the top blue, or on blue side's blue buff jungle. But there's no one in there at all to be found, as it's going to have all 5 members of each team on opposite sides of the map, so nothing's going to be going down to start with. But it looks like they might choose to take control of that blue buff. It looks like they're just going to ward for now, though. So no counter jungle on the start of the game to be seen just yet, as it's actually going to be cleared out immediately by the Karthus. Now, that is interesting to see, to say the least, as the Karthus actually bought the sweepers to start. Now, I do believe it was actually Wukong that spawned the ward and bought sweepers after, I think, as he did recall and back. So it is going to be Karthus and Wukong in the jungle, with Nefiri and Yasuo in mid. Oh, actually, they swapped it around. It's going to be Renekton in mid against the Yasuo here. So that'll be interesting, as we see a little bit of a knockup going here. A little bit of trades, but not definitely in Yasuo's favor to work out with here. But it's going to be Nefiri versus Gragas in the top lane. So I was a little bit mistaken in my predictions for champ select, but you know, sometimes this happens. They swap around stuff, but I do believe the Renekton and Nefiri was the last minute choice to kind of work around the Yasuo. I think, as I don't know how the Nefiri would work in the Yasuo. I suspect not very well. But that's part of the reason why you swap around these lanes. Yeah, sometimes the matchup is just so bad that you really just don't want to have to deal with it at all. And I guess I'm not really surprised to see that here, but I just wasn't aware, so you live and you learn. But it's actually going to be Smolder ADC with Leona support as well. Now, to my knowledge, Smolder is a little bit of a scaling champion along with Kai'Sa, so it's going to be interesting to see who's going to have better and early game pressure between the two. It looks like it might actually be a Karthus coming down to gank. He's just going to clear out the ward that was placed in the tri-bush. So nothing is going to happen as of yet, but it is going to be the Wukong coming down, so it might actually see an engage. The hook comes out onto the Karthus, Ignite goes out as well, and it's going to be Wukong that picks up the first blood on Karthus. He goes down, and like I said, the death passive allows him to continue fighting a little bit longer, but not able to do anything after that one. It's going to be the Karthus that goes down for first blood for Maverick Esports, as a little bit of an engage here for the Nefiri onto Gragas, and very interesting little bit of an engage, as the Gragas is just going to pick up a little bit more gold on the little tiny dogs, as he's just going to be kind of forced away from the minions, unfortunately. But yeah, that's definitely a good opening here for Maverick Esports. Getting the first blood onto Karthus and bot definitely sets up your Kai'Sa a lot better, but it is actually the Wukong that picked up first blood. So, you know, not ideal. You definitely want to make sure that first blood gets thrown to Kai'Sa in the long run, but I don't know how much of an effect that'll have. I think it'll be minimal, and as it was pretty much just the junglers kind of getting traded away there. It's going to be the Gragas stunning the Nefiri and doing a little bit of poke damage, but he's kind of just going to get forced out with that, as it looks like the Yasuo might actually be going down here. I don't know if... Ooh, he's very, very low. He has flash, but so does Renekton. He's going to go... Oh, no. Renekton is going to trade flash for flash and pick up the kill in the Dragon Pit on the Yasuo. So it's going to be a 1-1 score here for Game 2. It's definitely a better showing for mid right now for DePaul.
but it looks like it might actually be a fight on the grubs. I don't know if the Wukong is going to be able to secure any of these guys. He's just going to get forced off. He's actually going to be, might actually be able to find anything. Oh, he finds one, but he's going to go down. So not exactly the best opening for Maverick Esports to be working with here. But, you know, it is League of Legends, and each game starts from a clean slate. So definitely going to be interesting to see whether the lead will lean towards DePaul in this game or not. But it's very early on, so a lot of things can go wrong that you can recover from. Now, the biggest thing is whether those mistakes start piling up. Now, when they do, it really starts to get hard to follow up on and make that work through length of the game. But it is going to be the Nefiri ult coming out onto the Gragas. He's going to give a little bit of Rammus thumbs up as he just kind of shrugs it off, keeps going, as the call of the pack is not able to do anything against the Gragas, as it looks like they're going to shift up the lane a little bit again. The Yasuo is going to end up bringing the Renekton up top with them, as the Gragas is going to look to help the Dragons, as the Ocean Drake is going to go down for Maverick Esports in a second here. Looks like no contest can be seen from DePaul, so it's going to be Ocean Drake. Here, we'll see what dragon. Looks like it's Cloud Drake's going to spawn, so we'll see that up in about 5 minutes time. But still plenty. Ooh, not the best hook to see. Picks up the minion there, as it is going to be looking like a stun might come out onto the Yasuo. He's just going to be just out of range and just keeps running away, and so nothing's going to happen for the Renekton. But very good spot to work with for the Nautilus, but not able to connect as the minions just kind of screening the Smolder from his hook. Now, the one thing to note with the matchup in bot is Nautilus is the only one here that needs to worry about the minions. The Leona can actually just hook through the minions, as she'll hook to I believe the farthest target, if I remember correctly. So that'll be interesting to see whether that dynamic plays out. But we definitely have the advantage for the Kai'Sa, as the Smolder is very, very low. So really have to respect the engage pressure from Maverick Esports here in the bot lane, as he's going to end up hooking the Leona. He's going to get stunned. Just a little bit of damage, spread it out between the two. It's going to be the Killer Instinct from Kai'Sa going in, and it is going to be the Nautilus that falls, as the Requiem from Karthus is also going to go out and really prevent them from doing anything in the bot lane on the Leona. So unfortunately, we will not exactly the best trade to work with, but getting that kill on the Smolder and surviving is very good for our Kai'Sa here. As the last breath is going to come out on the Yasuo, the Karthus is very low, as the Cyclone from Wukong is actually going to bring him low, and it's going to be the Renekton. Oh, the Renekton kills the Wukong, as he just gets plenty of HP to work with. The Fury ults, and it's going to dash onto the Yasuo, and is going to find the final blow onto the Yasuo, as he was just not able to escape. Very unfortunate to see with the Renekton surviving with very, very low HP, and just able to sustain with his health regen. And that's honestly one of the things I hated the most about the character. He just doesn't seem to die, and as soon as he's surrounded by multiple people, he just gets so much healing off of that spin that it's almost impossible to actually bring him down. Sometimes it can be really annoying, as he, as we just saw, was able to get out with a sliver of HP. But it is going to be the ADCs left alone in bot. I don't know. Okay, Nautilus is mid, and so is the Leona. Oh, sorry. So we'll see if anything's going to happen between the two. It looks like they're just going to be pressuring around for the Rift Herald, which is why we see the ADCs left alone. But it's going to be the Kai'Sa engaging onto the Smolder. Definitely has a much better advantage into the Smolder here, and the Smolder really has to respect the Kai'Sa's damage and backs away. But it is going to be a Renekton engage onto the Gragas, but he's just going to look to do a little bit of damage and back away, so nothing is going to come of that either. The Rift Herald has dropped, and it is actually, no, sorry, they're Void Grub, my mistake. Rift Herald is about 4 minutes, there we go. So it is going to be some more void grabs picked up for DePaul University. They're going to have 5 here, with Maverick Esports at least having 1. But I don't think that'll really play out to make a big difference in this game. Because like we saw in last game, I don't think the grubs really made a big difference. There was just kind of too much of a lead for that small difference to really matter. But that could be some of the reasons why DePaul was able to get some of the towers that they were. Now, we will be seeing plenty of fighting between the Gragas and Renekton. Gragas chooses to jump in on the guy, as he's actually going to throw an explosive cast on him, but the Renekton is going to use his ult in response. So the Dominus is going to be burned from Renekton, as the Yasuo is just going to be pressuring the Nefiri and just forcing him out, as the last breath is going to go out, but he's very low HP. I don't think he has the damage to secure this kill, as it's actually going to be the Nefiri picking up a kill on the Yasuo in top lane for a solo kill. And that is very interesting to see, but you know, we kind of missed most of that, unfortunately. But it is what it is. As it's going to be the Killer Instinct on the Kai'Sa coming down onto the Smolder. Smolder is 1 HP. Kai'Sa uses Flash, but Kai'Sa is going to go down to the Smolder and gets a little bit of shutdown goal, as it's going to be Leona that actually gets hooked and ignited to go down by Cuddly Dragon in the bot lane, as the Requiem is going to go out, but no one's low enough to take any damage to die from that one. But we might see a fight here on the Karthus, but they look to be just choosing to disengage from him. It's going to be the flash burn from Wukong. It's going to go a little bit of an re-engage, but he is going to fall, as the Nautilus is not there to help out, unfortunately. I mean, the Karthus jungle is very interesting, to say the least. Now, the thing about Wukong is he has a little bit better engage. Oh, I'm going to stop right there, as we might actually be... No, there's nothing happening from that either. There's going to be the TP from Renekton going into top. It's going to be the Cloud Drake picked up. Oh, it looks like it's actually going to be the Nefiri ult coming out, as it's going to be a TP in response from... It looks like... I can't actually... It's going to be Gragas TP. But it is going to push the Nefiri away and prevent that Yasuo from going down from the Call of the Pack from Nefiri. Very interesting ult, able to close that gap very quickly, and the Yasuo really has to respect that, as he's just not able to fight the Nefiri right now. The Nefiri is 3-0 with Eclipse and Tiamat, so can be a very scary champion to play into right now. But it is going to be the Gragas choosing to deal with her, and it makes sense here. Gragas is a lot more tanky than Yasuo, and the Yasuo just doesn't have the items to work with at the moment. But neither does the Renekton, so they're definitely better off paired together right now, for Maverick Esports at the very least. Oh, we might actually be seeing a hook engage onto the Smolder. Oh, it's going to hit the Leona, but he is going to stun Leona a little bit. No damage is going to be followed through from the Kai'Sa. So a little bit of an engage. Nothing's going to happen, as the Yasuo is just going to be ganked by the Karthus, and he's going to go down to the Renekton Dominus, unfortunately, as Yasuo will be going down for the fourth time this game, and definitely not what you want to see from that champion. It does feel like a feast or famine champion sometimes. It's going to be the depth charge coming out from Nautilus onto the Smolder. It's going to be just ult coming out left, right, and center, with the Wukong Cyclone going to be knocking him up. The Leona is going to survive. Oh no, the Nautilus took one too many tower shots. So it's going to be the Requiem that actually ends up getting the kill on the Nautilus, as just gets him low enough for that last tower shot to make that final blow. So very good engage from Maverick Esports, but an equally as good disengage to work with, I will say, 1 HP Rift Herald. That actually almost got stolen. I don't know. I don't know what to expect out of that one, actually. I thought he might have actually stolen that. And then you see 1 HP, and it's just like, well, that's unfortunate. You could have gotten it. Just poor timing. But good attempt, as it is going to be the Rift Herald going to DePaul University for this time, as it's going to be Karthus that picks it up. So we'll see what lane he chooses to play with it in. But it looks like will be a Rift Herald in the bot lane. But it's going to be a flash engage onto the Nefiri, as the Nefiri is just going to be deleted by a handful of combo ults. That you saw the flash engage from the Gragas, knocking him up slightly enough for the last breath of Yasuo to make connection and take down the Nefiri, take down the top tower. So very good shutdown for Maverick Esports, as there actually is going to be a fight between Yasuo and Renekton, as the Renekton is just going to get outnumbered, as the Wukong is still here, but he's going to actually use Dominus. Gets the Yasuo very low. Yasuo has to use Flash to get away, as the TP from Nefiri actually looks like it's going to be coming down as well, as Wukong just needs to run away. Oh no! He got marked by the Call of the Pack and is going to be taken down by the Nefiri, and just an unfortunate series of events with the Renekton. They did not respect the Renekton with ult, unfortunately, and he was just able to sustain through that, with Yasuo not having enough damage to take care of him, unfortunately, as it's going to be a 3-man stack down in the mid lane. They'll choose to just back away. Will be having a dragon here. It looks like it should be shortly. So it is actually an Inferno Drake. So we did get Inferno Soul. So that'll be very interesting. That'll be a very, very high priority target for both teams. So whoever can really stack those Inferno Dragons can really make a difference. As Inferno Dragon gives you percentage, at least last time I checked, gives you percentage stats of both attack damage and ability power. So that's really just going to translate to raw damage for the most part, and very good for either team. Probably one of the best dragon powers that we have in the game, with exception to Elder Drake. But we'll be seeing plenty of pokes around here. It's going to be a 4v5. There's going to be Smolder's mom coming around, but it's going to be the Renekton actually found in the back line. He's going to be caught out, but he's not going to go down. He's going to land a kill on the Yasuo, as well as the Wukong's going to go down to Karthus. It's just going to be Maverick Esports getting completely slaughtered here, as it's going to be the Kaisa and Nautilus just barely able to escape. Nautilus actually lands a hook onto the Nefiri. Depth charge goes out, and it's going to be a kill secure on the Nefiri, as Leona is going to look to stun. But yeah, it's just not the fight you want for Maverick Esports here. The Renekton was caught out, was alone, but unfortunately, that character just is able to survive through all of that frontline damage and just completely shreds the backline of Maverick Esports, and is able to be DePaul clearing out the second bot and mid towers here, as misses the tornado, but the Renekton did use the dash for it, so very good attempt, but great dodge from the Renekton here, as very, very unfortunate to see from Maverick Esports. Had a very good first game to work with. Maybe they got a little bit ahead of themselves with this one, but they just need to get a little bit of a reset, get something to kind of shift the balance of this game, as it's definitely looking like DePaul is set up for the long run here. The Karthus is going to be a very scary champion. He has the Leandri's Torment, so that damage is going to be very annoying to have to deal with. His ult is probably one of the most kind of, it really feels like there's no counterplay into his ult sometimes. So there's just going to be guaranteed damage across the map, and especially during a team fight, that could really screw things over unless you can land a stun on him to cancel the cast. That is going to be a engage from, just drops him a little bit, as it's going to be the explosive cast comes out from the Gragas, as the Wukong is able to actually follow up on the Nefiri after that one. So it's going to be Nefiri going down in the river, as we do have a Baron spawn here. but it looks like Maverick Esports is going to opt to... Oh, he lands the tornado. It's going to be depth charge going to be used from the Nautilus, but no follow-up is going to be seen as he's just barely behind the tower. But it's going to be Yasuo that goes down to the Requiem of Karthus here, as it's going to be Renekton chasing down the team of Maverick Esports. There's going to be Cyclone used to try to force him away, but it's going to be the Nautilus that looks like he should be going down here any second. As, yeah, it's going to be this... Oh, no, he's still alive. Still kicking. As he's going to be running down to... actually, the Smolder chooses to not continue on, as it is going to be the Wukong getting engaged on by the Nefiri, with Karthus landing the slow wall, but, oh, he's just getting completely shredded by the little minions of Nefiri, as it looks like it should be Baron falling here for DePaul University, as I think we might be having a game 3 here. So, it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be blue team picking up the Baron here for game 2. It's actually going to be Smolder, but he's going to get caught out. What is he doing there? The Kaisa lands the skill shot, is able to follow up with Killer Instinct, and it's going to be the Smolder and mid tower going down for Maverick Esports here. Very good kill to pick up with. Now you do have the 4 other members of DePaul University with Baron buff, so not out of the thick of it yet, but definitely the early pick you want to see right after Baron buff. But we will see how they choose to defend. Not exactly the best to work with. Only the inhibitor towers of mid and bot are still up. We do have one more lane tower up in the top lane to work with, so I don't suspect them to take that one down very soon. But it doesn't look like they've chosen any specific... Oh, looks like they're going to be looking to push down mid, as it's going to be maybe an engage on the Gragas. As it's going to be Kaisa landing a little bit of engage. Oh, he's in a very, very deep position to work with, as it's going to be actually the Renekton ult coming out early, but it looks like he will find the kill on the Yasuo, as he's going to go down to the Requiem, as he was brought down low enough. That's going to make Karthus legendary, as he's 8-2 with a 700 gold bounty, so very high priority target here for Maverick Esports. He does not have his ult, so they definitely have a lot better of a fight to work with here. But it's going to be a hook from Nautilus landing on the Karthus. He's going to get knocked into the tower by the explosive cask. A very, very good play from Maverick Esports, as they're just going to keep him or take him out of the fight here. That's exactly what you want. I mean, they'll probably lose inhibitor here regardless, but to get that shutdown on the Karthus at this point is so crucial for any sort of chance to bring this game back. But I think the Leona and Smolder might actually be waiting too long. It's going to be the Smolder that gets hit by the Kaisa, and the Killer Instinct is going to follow him up. The Leona is just barely surviving. It's going to be Gragas chasing him, and it looks like the Leona should be going down here for our Gragas in the red side jungle. Now, they didn't actually get inhibitor. That's the other interesting thing right now, is they got the turret, but then not the inhibitor. So definitely the response you want from Maverick Esports is going to be Inferno Dragon taken down, as Renekton's actually alone right here. Oh, they missed the knockup, so they're not going to follow up. They could turn on him. The Nautilus could look to... his team is going to be backing away, so they're going to choose not to. They could have. He's so low. But he does have the ult, so, you know, I do think they're looking to respect the Renekton Dominus ult, unfortunately, as that is a very scary ult in a team fight. But it's just going to allow him to keep surviving sometimes. So, you know, probably the better decision to let him be. Might actually see a fight here in the jungle. No, the Nautilus is going to choose to back away. It's going to be the red buff taken down by, looks like the Smolder is going to pick it up, and the Karthus. But it is a very interesting play up here in the top lane to work with. They want the tower, but it's going to be the hook landing on the Nefiri. It's going to be Cyclone coming in to knock 3 up, or knock 2 up. It's going to be the Karthus and Nefiri going down with the Last Breath following up on them. As it's going to be Leona just taken down, and the Smolder just unable to escape. 0 escape tools to be seen. The Kaisa is going to pick up that final blow with a very good-looking comeback here from Maverick Esports. Off of that mid fight with the Karthus, I think really was the turning point right now. So we'll see if they can keep this momentum going. But we will be having a push into the mid and mid and top lane. But it looks like it's just going to be the top lane that's going to be crashing into the tower here. They are going to be looking to get this tower down. It's just Renekton defending at the moment. Very scary champion to have to deal with, but it's going to be the Dominus comes out, but the Nautilus hook is going to land, and he's just going to have to respect that fight and just have to turn around. It's going to be the Requiem from Karthus coming down. He's going to kill the Kaisa off of that. That is, oh man, that is a crazy champion. It's going to be the Renekton dashing in and is going to find the kill on the Yasuo and just completely delete him off of the Rift. And unfortunately, not the best showing from the Yasuo here tonight. Oh my god, he could have also gotten... That was close, but he is going to be able to recall out safely, and Renekton is going to be alone in the top lane. Now, that is probably the scariest champion on the Rift right now, but it is going to be 4 people crashing down mid. It's going to be the Leona that lands the stun onto the Nautilus. He has to burn Flash. He's going to hook back to the Nexus tower, but it looks like it will be the mid inhibitor that goes down finally here, as Maverick Esports is just respawning. And yeah, that's unfortunately the opening that DePaul needed for that inhibitor turret, but it might actually be a bot tower going down for our Gragas here, as he's going to be very, very good on the split push right now and just pressuring the entire map. As it looks like it will be a Baron that I think should go down for DePaul. Doesn't look like our Wukong is anywhere close by to be contesting this. Yeah, it's going to be the Baron secured for the Karthus, or from the Karthus for DePaul, as they're going to look to regroup back into the base with 5-man Baron buff to work with, as well as an inhibitor tower. Now, the big thing we didn't see last game was the second Baron with the inhibitors gone. So having that power, or that inhibitor minion that's got the big shield right in front of him, is very, very tanky, and you definitely need to be scared of that, especially if it has Baron buff. So if they choose to pressure that mid, it might be very hard to deal with, but it looks like they're going to be pressuring down in the bot lane, and they will basically, and Maverick Esports is basically going to have to keep someone in mid almost 24/7 to keep that inhibitor minion in control, because that thing will take your base on its own. You cannot just ignore it, unfortunately speaking. But it will be a fight in the bot lane that we'll see unfold. This is going to be actually Gragas that's actually split pushing top. Yasuo should be looking to come back in, but it's going to be the Nautilus actually caught out and just unable to do anything. The blast cone was not able to save him, unfortunately, as it's going to be the bot inhibitor turret going down as well, as it's going to be a 5-man push with Baron buff onto the Nexus of Maverick Esports, seeing if they can recover anything. It's going to be the Smolder ult coming out with Renekton just getting so much shielding, as it's going to be unable to get anything happening. Last breath of Yasuo goes up, he just gets completely deleted, but it is going to be Leona that falls. The Requiem of Karthus is going to be coming down. I don't think it's going to find anyone off of it, but the Wukong is low, and is going to be giving a double kill to the Nefiri as both turrets are gone, and that is going to be, oh, maybe not just yet. The Smolder is going to be low. It is going to be the Nexus that just gets barely taken out. And we're going to be going to Game 3 for Maverick Esports versus DePaul University. So, yeah, that's, we're going to be going to Game 3, folks. So, don't go anywhere just yet. We'll definitely be back for the draft of that one. But before we go, just want to give a few more reminders. Check out our merch on our merch store between with Fat Cap. So thank you again for sponsoring Maverick Esports, um, and as well as checking out our socials. Make sure to follow, keep note of when we go live next. But we should be back in a few minutes for the draft as we will be getting map 3. So don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back, folks. As we're going to be hitting map 3 for the draft pick, if we can get the draft up on the screen so we can see what the teams are going to be looking to do to follow through here. As similar bans from both teams, we're going to see the Smolder ban from DePaul. They did choose to play it last game, and it actually worked out quite well for them. But at the same time, was definitely not the reason they won that game. The Smolder was almost not really there. It seemed like, but we will be seeing the Karthus ban from Maverick Esports. Now, I'm not really surprised for that one. The Karthus character is extremely annoying, but we will be seeing a Lulu picked up for Maverick Esports, the Karma and Ezreal picked up for DePaul. It looks like they're going to be looking to take those both down to bot lane. So we'll see what ADC Maverick Esports will choose for here. It looks like they're going to be picking up the Wukong again. Again, the Wukong actually was a very good pick for the most part. Was able to really have a good presence. They just weren't able to keep that Renekton under control. And then the Fury was also kind of unable to be kept in check as well. So hopefully we don't run into that same issue for Game 3 here. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure which lane they're going to be looking to throw this next pick into. It's going to be the Vayne ADC. So that'll be interesting to see. The Vayne is definitely one of those hyper-scaling champions, but can really, really turn the tide against some of those tankier characters and really just shreds them to pieces. But we'll be seeing a very, very pokey ADC or bot lane from DePaul with Ezreal and Karma, as well as the Viego getting picked up. Now, I suspect it's going to be jungle, but we could see the Viego in the top lane. I I would I do think the Viego is going to be jungle though, but a lot of the teams have been messing around with some of these picks and kind of flexing around with them as it kind of screws with what your bans are going to be because you think you have the top laner already picked, but turns out they're going to use some jungle, and it really can kind of be that interesting dynamic. But we'll be seeing an Olaf ban from DePaul. Now, I'm not really surprised. Again, the Olaf was just such an influential character for the first game, but it's going to be an Ornn ban from Maverick, or Maverick Esports here. That'll be an interesting character. I don't know. I guess that is going to be one of the target bans for their top lane. So I do suspect it's going to be Viego in the jungle for sure then. But we do have two more bans to work with before we get through the next four picks. So we'll see what they're going to decide to go with here. Now for DePaul, you have mid lane as well as top lane kind of open. It's going to be the Gragas ban. Now that's actually a good ban for the most part as well. The Gragas from Maverick Esports was a very, very good pick. Just again, I think there's a little bit too much of a overall deficit to really work with, and that Renekton just snowballed out of control, as well as the Karthus just being a headache for Maverick Esports. As we will be seeing a Renekton ban, Speak of the Devil, and you see that one getting banned here. It's going to be the Ahri picked up from DePaul, so we're going to see Ahri mid. But again, you don't have the mid laner from Maverick Esports picked just yet. So we could see a counter pick onto that one depending on what the champion pool is for our mid laners. So we'll see if they're going to be looking to decide on that one. But we should be seeing our top and mid being picked for Maverick Esports here. We'll see what they settle and decide on before we get that last pick. It's going to be a Vex. Now, I guess I'm not surprised here. Vex is generally one of those characters that's very anti-mobility. So we can see, I do understand the reasoning for that into the Ahri. We'll see how that plays out. I suspect it's going to be in our favor, but you never know sometimes with some of these matchups. It's definitely not a hard counter per se. Ahri is a very slippery champion, but the Vex. And we will also be seeing a Poppy. Now, Poppy is also one of those characters that really can lock him down, so I'm not really surprised with that either. So, and it is going to be a Darius picked up. So we should be seeing Darius in the top lane, and I suspect it might actually be a Wukong top or Poppy jungle. Those could also be switched around, as we did see Wukong in the jungle already, but we'll see what happens there. So stay tuned. We'll be back in a few minutes when we hit the rift with Map 3 of Maverick Esports versus DePaul University.
We're student gamers at Minnesota State Mankato, and we had a big idea. Turn our love of gaming into a varsity esports team. In our first year, we earned a national championship and created a fun and friendly community for both competitive and casual gamers. We're learning broadcasting, digital marketing, and live stream technology.
All right, welcome back, everybody. As we're going to be getting into Game 3. There we go. Now we showing the actual rift. It's going to be very interesting to see what plays out. We're going to be having Wukong in the top lane and Poppy in the jungle, so I'm not surprised on that. It's kind of what I expected to see. So it'll be Wukong versus Darius up in the top. Very interesting dynamic between the two. We'll see who comes out on top there. The Vex Ahri mid duel is definitely going to be probably one to watch. Definitely in favor of the Vex. But again, anything can happen. The Ahri is mobile, but not really like the same level as some of the other assassins that Vex really is designed to kind of counter. As she has a lot of range to work with. As she's like one of the few ranged assassin characters. Now, we will be seeing a little bit of poke between Lulu. Lulu's just going to drop a ward into the blue buff and run away. Definitely a little funny warding there from the supports. Not really surprised. That's definitely what you want to see. So you want to be being able to keep tabs on the jungler and seeing where he's going to be, whether you can really push up into your lane or not. We're going to see a little bit of a leash in the red buff for our Poppy here. As is going to be the Viego starting on red side chickens. Definitely. Now, Viego is definitely one of the interesting characters when it comes to the jungle. He's able to give himself a little bit of a, like, he gives himself a mist around the walls and terrain, able to kind of question whether he's actually there. So he can kind of scare you off just by throwing it, but you know, you do have to respect it because you can't really tell if he's in the mist or not. So he can really come out of nowhere, stunning you on the gank, and not a very fun champion to have to deal with in the jungle if you're a laner. But we will see which jungler comes out on top between the two. I definitely suspect Poppy is going to be a little bit better for us, but again, I have not seen what their jungler is capable of on the Viego, so I don't want to say anything too soon. As we're just going to be getting plenty of basic trades between the two, poking damage, but nothing to be found. The Charm's actually going to land onto the Vex. Takes a little bit of damage from the electrocute of Ahri, as it's going to be a stun of Poppy onto the Karma, as the Karma is going to have to burn Flash to get away. That's definitely good. And like I said, the Vex is going to be stunned by the Viego. Going to have to use Flash. It gets away. The Charm is going to be missing on the Ahri. It's going to be Wukong getting pulled in by the Darius and just taking plenty of damage from the minions, as the minion wave is going to be crashing into his tower. And he's just going to have to respect that Darius, unfortunately. He's actually, so he's going to be tower dove right here. We'll see if he can do anything to get rid of it. Oh, he does juke around the Viego a little bit, but again, they're not able to collapse on him just yet, as there's not a big enough minion wave. The Poppy is actually here and might actually land a stun on the Viego.
might be able to see it, but the auto spectator is not letting us know. Okay, doesn't look like anything happened between the two there, but it's going to be Darius that takes another tower shot under tower, as the minion wave is going to be sent back to the middle of the lane. Darius is going to choose to back away, as it's going to be very interesting to see if maybe we can. I mean, the interesting thing right now that we're going to be seeing with bot lane is going to be a very poke-heavy lane. Unlike the previous two games where both the supports were very engage-heavy, but we're going to see plenty of poke damage on the Lulu, as the Lulu's just going to be forced to back away, as just not enough HP to work with in anywhere remotely safe environment. But again, plenty of things can happen. No one has fallen just yet. We'll see who decides to be that first blood here for Game 3. Whether we will have the top lane getting ganked. No, he's going to be backing away, so the Viego is not going to be able to get him out. So it's possible we could see a gank from Viego onto the Vex again in mid. The Vex doesn't have flash, so if he lands the stun, it's almost a guaranteed kill. Especially considering the Ahri with Charm can really screw with that as well. But it is going to be the Viego that picks up the Void Grubs to start the game out for the first objective, as plenty of just poke damage from Lulu onto the Ezreal going out. Trying to force him away from the minions, but Ezreal has plenty of range to work with and is just able to last hit the minions with his projectiles, as his Q does get reset when it does kill a minion. So that's definitely a valuable thing for that champion to have, but he doesn't have a lot of mana to work with, so he is going to have to get forced out, as the Lulu is just going to be bullying him away from the minions, as he might be able to miss a cannon minion. No, he's going to be able to secure the cannon minion, unfortunately. And the Poppy is in the bot side bush. I don't think they're going to be in a position to get the Poppy onto that Ezreal, but it is going to be very interesting, as the Viego is closer to the bot lane as well. But it is going to be the Poppy that chooses to back away from this. Not able to find anything. Dam comes out on the Vayne onto the Karma, as Ezreal is going to have to use Flash, as the Karma also uses Heal. So that's two Summoner spells down. Very good trades from bot lane here, as the Viego is not going to be there to respond to that. So very good showing on the bot side of Maverick Esports. A very good CS lead starting so far. But again, definitely similar to the first game we saw. Both bot and top were able to get a lead on the minions with the amount that they have killed, but mid lane right now is very even. So again, we're really just kind of waiting for who makes that first mistake, who makes that first major mistake that's going to lead to an opening. And it's hard to tell who that's going to be. I want to say it's the Vex, but at the same time, it could very well easily be that Ezreal or Karma. We saw them getting very low, and they're just not having the resources to work with. They've had both of their, or Ezreal has Flash forced away from him. Now he does have his own Blink available, so technically he kind of has two flashes. So that's the interesting part about his character. But again, having that flash on itself is so useful in general. But Ezreal is probably the least worried about it, as he's one of the more mobile ADCs when you don't have flash. But again, it is going to be, it's hard to say where this first blood is really going to come from. Very even lanes when it comes to mid. Bot lane's definitely in the favor of Vayne, but not enough to really make a big difference. Very good dodge from the Wukong on the spin of Darius there, as he used his clone to just get a little bit of distance to not get hit by that. Very smart ability plays there. It's going to be the Ahri that hits level 8, I think. Oh, okay, I thought she just hit level 6. My mistake. but it's going to be level 6 across the board. So all ults on the table to see who might pull away first blood here. It's going to be man, the Viego is definitely looking for that Wukong. He definitely wants that Wukong dead, and I can tell, but he's going to be choosing to back away. Looks like they will probably look to deal with the second group of Void Grubs, so we might be able to see a contest on that from Maverick Esports, but they could choose to just not deal with them at all. But I don't know if that's the best play in the long run. I do think they kind of have to contest that, but I do think the Viego is in a much better spot to do so right now. The Poppy is nowhere to be found, as it looks like it's going to be Viego clearing away the Void Grubs, as it is going to be going to 6 Void Grubs for DePaul University. Sorry. But, yeah, I mean, just Maverick Esports is not able to contest it, it looks like. Actually, they might have stopped the one. Nope. It is going to be that one going down. But it's going to be the stun of Viego. Actually gets blocked. And it's going to be the Cyclone that goes on the Viego, and he's going to go down. The Cyclone is going to be used again onto the Darius, as he's going to be just trying to sustain through that, but he's going to go down. The Vex is going to find a connection onto the Ahri, but I don't think he's able to secure the kill on that, as Ahri's going to land the charm, and Ahri is just going to run away. So the Shadow Surge was able to actually make connection onto the Ahri, but again, she did have to burn Spirit Rush as well as Flash to get away from that one with her life. So very good trade, as we're going to see the TP from Ahri back into the mid lane. The Wukong is not going to be able to land that final blow to break that break the plate of the turret for that little bonus gold. But we will be having a top lane crash into the tower, but I don't think they're going to be able to get the plate off of that one, as the Darius has very good lane wave clear to work with his abilities. A little bit more poke damage from the Ahri onto the Wukong to kind of get him to get away from the mid lane. Again, very even mid laners right now. Both of them are working with one item. We do have the Vex with boots, so has a little bit of an advantage with the movement speed and could be very beneficial to dodging that charm. But it is going to be the Lulu that actually gets hit by the stun, as it's going to be the Heartbreaker from Viego landing. It's going to be Wild Growth coming out onto the Vayne as the final hour is also used. But it's going to be the Lulu that falls to the True Shot Barrage of Ezreal. As it's going to be it's going to be the first kill on the board for DePaul University, as they're just going to be looking to back away from this bot tower and really just respect the space that they've taken and try to regroup again. And it's definitely not the best thing you want to see from that. The Lulu did get caught out from the Viego, as the Viego was in the red side jungle, as the Darius is actually going under the tower. The Cyclone's actually going to go out. He's going to be 1 HP. It's going to be the charm landing onto the Vex. The Vex is going to go down to the Ahri here in mid lane, as the Darius is just going to choose to have to back away and is not going to find the final blow onto the Wukong. And kind of evened out a little bit. I mean, Ahri definitely has the advantage down mid. That first kill is going to be definitely a gold advantage for her, but not big enough to really make that big of a difference, it seems. But it is going to be the Ocean Drake falling for the side of DePaul University, as they're going to look to maybe get... No, not going to get any kills after the fact, as it's going to be a mostly tied game here. The gold lead has definitely shortened a bit, as we saw a handful of mistakes from Maverick Esports piling together and giving DePaul a ability to kind of even it out. Now, it is still early. We're only 13 minutes in, so we have plenty of things that can go wrong and be of note. There's going to be the Darius doing plenty of poke damage to the Wukong, trading around as he's going to try to get that pull, but not able to get the Wukong any lower. It's going to be the final hour coming out from the Vayne, but the Viego's actually in for the engage. And Wild Growth is going to have to go out on the Lulu, as the Lulu is going to actually be cut down by the Viego. And now the Viego has copied Lulu. As he is going to be knocked, the Ezreal is actually going to be hit by Poppy. The keeper's verdict is going to say, get out of here to Karma, but he is also going to fall to that Viego, as Viego is going to use Heartbreaker again, but not able to connect on the Vex. Ooh, the Vex is going to be getting chased here. He's not going to be able to dodge the stun. He is going to go down to one of the most balanced champions in the game, Viego. Yeah, that is a very interesting champion, to say the least, as he's able to copy other champions. Now, the difference with him and someone like Sylas, now Sylas, you have the hijack ult that we saw earlier where he's able to copy the ultimates. Viego copies their whole kit, with the exception of the ult. So it's very a weird dynamic, where he's basically able to just be whatever champion he wants. And unfortunately is able to get a little bit of an invulnerability reset. Oh no, what are you doing? The Vayne was looking to get a kill onto the Ezreal, and it's just going to get punished, and it's actually going to be the Lulu that might go down as well, as the Lulu is going to go down to the Ezreal. The Ezreal right now is sitting on a 4-0 KD. Now, I said earlier that the Vayne was on the advantage. That has clearly changed, as the CS lead is still on Vayne, between the Vayne and Ezreal, as we see 127 to 112. But it's not big enough to make up for the fact that Ezreal has 4 kills, the Vayne 0. And so that is very scary to be playing into right now. We have 2 towers for Maverick Esports down, as well as it's only 2 kills on the board for them. So they really need to try to pick it up and figure out what's going wrong here, and find an opening, find that opportunity, and not overextend. Because what we saw with the Vayne was he was just looking for that opportunity, but he overextended in doing so, and was punished very well punished for making that mistake. And that's definitely not what you want to see from Maverick Esports. But the gold lead is not too big just yet, but it's a few thousand gold lead for DePaul, so it's definitely not small. It is going to be the Ahri that ends up getting polymorph. The final hour actually comes out on the Vayne, but Ahri is not going to be able to fall. But it's actually going to be the Vex that lands the ult onto the Ezreal, and he's going to go down almost instantly as the Wukong's able to find the Karma. The Poppy is going to flash charge the Ahri, and the Ahri is going to go down as well, with the Vex trying to chase down that Viego, but the Viego is just too fast and is going to get out of there. And that is definitely the equalizer fights you want to see. Now, we saw a fight from top and a fight from bot, and definitely the outcome for Maverick Esports that they wanted, equalizing the gold lead substantially across the board. But whether that gold is in the right hands or not, that's going to be the big difference. Because if you put more gold in, say, like the Lulu versus something like the Vayne, it's really going to make a big difference. The more gold you get to the Vayne, the stronger that Vayne is going to be at taking down those 2 priority targets from DePaul, such as the Darius and the Viego. But that kind of thing is probably going to be the biggest difference between the gold equalization here. But we are going to be seeing a Earth Dragon here, as the Earth Dragon Soul is what we are working with in in game 3 here, as both teams are going to be looking to play for this one. That is going to be the Ahri up top. Both ADCs are chilling around mid, but the Vex is down the bottom, so not on top of everyone to work with just yet. So DePaul definitely is in a little bit of a better spot. It actually might be the Poppy that gets engaged on. He's going to have to get forced out, uses his field to prevent an engage, but is not able to get anything out of it. Now, keep in mind with Poppy, her little ring that she spawns around her does prevent movement abilities, but not blinks. So something like Ezreal or Flash is going to prevent them. As we just saw the Viego dashing in, the Poppy is going to say no to that one, as it is going to be a fight for the Dragon in the river here, as Vex is going to land a handful of abilities onto Ahri. No! the Vex Shadow Surge is going to go through everyone. It's going to be the Wukong Cyclone onto their team. It's going to be the Poppy that dashes in, but he's just going to get blown up immediately. The Karma's going to go down, as well as the Vayne chasing the Ahri and just dashing through everyone. But he's going to get cut down by the guillotine of Darius, as Darius is just going to shut down everyone here, as Darius and Viego are going to pick up the scraps of the fight with a double and triple kill for the ace of DePaul. And that is going to be Earth Dragon for DePaul here, confirmed. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of probably the scariest thing to come out of that. The Darius and Viego being the strong characters that they are in themselves is just one thing, but them getting a gold lead versus the other team is like a whole nother thing. They're both on a shutdown. Darius is 3-1, Viego is 4-1. So they have a lot of gold to work with. So they're going to be very scary to have to deal with. And that Vayne needs to be protected to take those guys down. If that Vayne lives through anything and is able to keep space from the Darius, that's exactly what Maverick Esports needs to do. And we saw the Vayne chase the Ahri, but the Vayne was unfortunately going to be cut down by the Darius, as the Darius was able to close that gap. And Vayne is unfortunately unable to do anything. But we do have plenty more game to work with. Looks like we will have the Baron up. No one ended up picking up the Rift Herald, which is interesting. We haven't seen that yet. Neither team decided to go for it. It looks like both teams, I mean, realistically, they chose to fight over Dragon, which makes sense. But again, that Rift Herald seems to be very useful, but it's going to be the Cyclone out from the Wukong going on to the Darius, as the Vayne is just going to have to take space from the Darius. And it's going to be a shutdown for Wukong here on the Darius to finally keep him in check, and definitely the gold shift that you want to see. That is going to be this Shadow Surge on the Vex onto the Ahri. He's just going to be chasing him down. The Ahri is going to have to use Spirit Rush and Flash to get away. The Ignite did also come out, but now Vex still has Flash, but he's going to be hit by the Charm and get brought very low. There's going to be the Wild Growth onto the Vayne as Final Hour comes out, and the Vayne is just going to shred Viego to pieces, and then they're going to be keeping the, they're going to look to chase. The Final Hour is still going out. Oh my god, he just takes half of his HP as damage, and he's just going to get deleted by Ezreal, as he just doesn't respect the burst damage of Ezreal's combos. And the Darius is going to TP and finally push that fight back in the other direction. As, yeah, I mean, that's probably the scariest thing to see, is the Vayne's HP bar going from full to 50% in literally a frame. So that's always fun. But that's kind of the big thing with Ezreal. I mean, Ezreal has his Q, which just shoots a little bit, or little tiny projectile, and it does a lot of damage on its own. But if it hits someone who already has his other projectile, which is his E, that latches onto someone, it does bonus damage, and that's what you saw there. So it's very, very scary, and it can be very sudden, and obviously that's what killed the Vayne in the long run there. It's going to be the Cyclone coming out on the Darius from Wukong. He's just going to be looking to bully him around. Looks to get it again on the second cast, but Darius is able to get away from that one. The Vex might actually look to engage on the Darius here. Darius is going to use Ghost. The Shadow Surge comes out. Darius sidesteps it. He's going to get feared by the Vex, as the Vex is just going to look to poke him out, and the Vex will make the final blow onto the Darius in the top lane. As very good showing from that little play there, as we got Ahri down in the bot lane. Karma is also here, but Poppy is not really a character either of them are going to be able to deal with very easily. Charm goes out, does not make the connection, as we're going to actually have Vex help. That's going to force the TP out of Ahri. It's going to give the Poppy plenty of space to work with on their own now, as they're alone in bot, and they're just going to look to back up and reset, buy an item or so, as got a very interesting engage. Polymorph comes out onto the Viego. Viego's actually going to get stunned. It's going to be the Echo or the Ezreal that just gets completely shredded. The Wukong dashes onto the Karma, as well as the Vayne is able to follow up on that one. And a very good final hour from Vayne, just able to completely shred the Ezreal while ignoring the Viego. And honestly, that's probably the play you want to make. The Viego is still around the Baron pit, but I don't think he's going to be looking to contest it, so there should be a secured Baron. Ooh, he might be coming in. Wukong's going to be looking to chase him. The Cyclone comes out onto him. He's going to be looking again. The Shadow Surge makes the connection onto the Viego, and he's going to go down. And that's definitely a big turnaround for Maverick Esports here, as there's going to be Darius is the other one left alive here in the river. Ooh, Earthdrake is actually up as well. It's going to be Poppy that stuns him into the corner. Darius shield, or he's going to get shielded by his item. I forget the name off the top of my head, unfortunately. But he's going to survive for as long as he can, but is going to get cut down by Maverick Esports as the True Shot Barrage comes across the screen to try to steal that Earthdrake, but is not soon enough. So it will be the fourth dragon of the game going to Maverick Esports, evening out the dragons, both teams having one Earthdrake. But the DePaul is going to have Ocean, whereas Maverick Esports is going to have a Chemtech Drake as well. Now, the big thing to note here is what lane Maverick Esports is going to choose to go with this Baron. Now, ironically, mid tower, the first mid tower is still up, so that one should go down first here. But we'll see how far they can carry this, as it's going to be looking like a big fight here in the mid lane. It's going to be the Viego that gets scouted out. The Charm comes out on Ahri, but is going to miss. I don't see, no one's really out of position too much here. It's going to be the Viego looking to try to find his way through. But again, the Vayne keeping space from where that Viego is going to come from. That's going to be the main thing Maverick Esports needs to do, is keep that Vayne alive. The longer the Vayne alive, the longer that Vayne lives, the better. And if that Vayne goes down early, that's probably the scariest thing you can see. As again, just poking, going left, right, center. Gonna be the Wukong with a Cyclone in. The Shadow Surge makes a connection on the Karma and actually gets a reset to take down the Ezreal as well. It's going to be Ahri that gets launched into the wall by Condemn. As it's going to be the Vayne with Final Hour. He's going to be trying to look to shred the Darius. Going to be chasing him in, but he's going to get stunned by Viego. The Poppy is going to be knocking the Viego away, and the Vayne's going to live with a sliver of HP. So that will be the second tower in mid going down, and it should be as well Inhibitor and the Inhibitor tower going down as well with this push. So very good team fight. Vayne just barely able to survive. Little bit of an angst, or a little bit of a kind of risky play towards the end on that commit onto Ahri, but was able to find it, and the Viego was not able to take down the Vayne. So very good lead from Vayne here. Has Blade of the Rune King, has Rage Blade to work with, so very scary character indeed right now, and a very high priority target. But you can't ignore the Vex either. That Vex got a double kill off of the Wukong Cyclone. So not only was it an amazing engage from Wukong, it was amazing follow-up from the Vex. They'd go down towards the end, but just getting that 2 confirmed kills on those champions is just so influential and so much worth dying for. So the gold lead is going to be back to the side of Maverick Esports here, as they have plenty to work with, and they just need to play slow, play for objectives, and wait for DePaul to be making that mistake. DePaul's definitely much on the back foot here finally now, where they were kind of ahead earlier in the game. But again, those few fights really make a big difference, and it starts piling up against them, and Maverick Esports is starting to really start build that lead. It's going to be actually Viego. He's going to get polymorphed, but he's just not going to be able to be taken out, as the Karma is going to get him out of there. It's going to be the Ahri TPing in. The hook lands on the Wukong. No, it was actually the Wukong clone. I even got fooled. But it is going to be Viego looking to engage onto the Wukong, but not able to find anything. Let's see who decides to make that first mistake. That's going to be Vayne looking to poke away at the Ahri. Takes a good chunk of HP out of her, but not enough. And doesn't use any abilities to commit any further. But it is going to be a really good stun. The charm misses. And is going to get out of that one alive. Now we do have the dragon up in 40 seconds. So I suspect Maverick Esports is just going to be looking to take control of the blue side, or the red side, blue jungle, to kind of set up for that dragon. But it might actually be the Viego that falls down. The Cyclone goes out. The Heartbreaker is going to go out as well. And how the Viego just barely escapes, as looks like they might actually choose to crash down onto the bot lane tower here. Yeah, I think what they're going to be looking to do is take this tower, and then once they take this tower, they're going to be looking to go straight to dragon. But they need to not lose this fight. They need to make sure they don't waste abilities. The Darius hook misses on the Vayne. Looks like they will be backing up here. And I suspect they're going to be taking control of dragon here shortly. Ooh, the charm is going to miss. The Vex is able to get away alive, as the Vayne is just going to be shredding the dragon. And dragon will go down for Maverick Esports with another True Shot Barrage, flying across the screen just a little bit too late. Not able to steal that dragon, unfortunately. Or I guess for us, rather fortunately, that did not steal it. But a little bit of a reset for Maverick Esports. We have Baron up, so both teams are probably going to be eyeing that. Maverick Esports is definitely in a better position to work with. The mid lane inhibitor being down for DePaul is definitely an advantage for that pressure for Dragon, or for Baron, as they're going to have to keep someone responding to that mid lane. So that could lead to a 4v5 in Baron, which is just exactly what Maverick Esports wants. Whether that's going to play out, that's the real question. I think they should be able to get a very easy Baron here, but I do suspect if DePaul is doing anything correctly, they should be contesting that Baron here shortly. Both teams are going to be looking to collapse around it. Just seeing wards placed left, right, and center so far. As we try to clear it out, it is going to be Baron that is going to be engaged on now. So we will see if DePaul will choose to contest this, which it seems like they aren't. The True Shot Barrage comes across, so they do know how low it is, but it's going to be the Vex that's kind of zoning the Viego away from the Baron, so it is going to be secured for the side of Maverick Esports. So now they just need to look for a lane that they can really just collapse on together and get that second inhibitor. It's going to be Final Hour actually coming out for the Vayne. Both the Vayne flash from Ahri is going to go down. The Ahri's actually just going to get shredded, and the Karma is going to die in like 3 hits with the Ezreal going down. And with Baron buff and the mid inhibitor respawning, it is going to go down shortly. Wukong does have the top lane pushed in, so that should be top tower and inhibitor going down. Now, it's not game just yet, but we do have 5 members up for Maverick Esports with plenty of time to work with before the rest of their team respawns. It's going to be the Darius that just gets deleted, as well as the Viego's just not able to do anything. So that will be the final tower, as well as the Nexus going down for Maverick Esports to secure Game 3 in the series, and that will be the win finally for Maverick Esports in a 2-1 series for League of Legends against DePaul University. So very good recovery at the end. Definitely the early game for Game 3 was not exactly the best for Maverick Esports, but they were able to turn it around and keep that momentum rolling. Got 2 Barons to close out the game, and that's exactly what you want to see, taking it all the way to Game 3. Very close game, and very exciting to cast, to say the least. But before you go, there's a few more things. Just a quick reminder, don't forget about our merch that we have. Great new things that just came out. So we have sweatshirt, shirt, arm sleeve, as well as the new limited tapestry, as well as there is also the Maverick Esports Skills Academy coming up. That's going to be, the registration should be open for that already. So that'll be a fun thing for middle and high schoolers in the summer. to check out the facility as well as getting a little bit of coaching from for the game. So definitely look into that one if you're interested. And thank you again for tuning in for League of Legends for tonight. It's been a very great time casting today. So thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you guys again soon.
We're student gamers at Minnesota State Mankato, and we had a big idea. Turn our love of gaming into a varsity esports team. In our first year, we earned a national championship and created a fun and friendly community for both competitive and casual gamers. We're learning broadcasting, digital marketing, and live stream technology, skills that translate to real-world job opportunities. Everyone wins. Be a Maverick. Learn more at mnsu.edu.
Okay, welcome back. We got a quick update. So it is actually best of 5. I did go check in with them, and I was mistaken. I thought it was the best of 3 because I talked to them earlier, and actually they even thought it was the best of 3. But so we do have one more game at the very least. So we'll be match point for Maverick Esports here, closing into Game 4. So apologies for that. So stay tuned. We'll be back in a few more minutes for the draft, and then we will be following up on that one for Game 4 of Maverick Esports versus DePaul University. So please stay tuned as we have at least one more, maybe 2 more games left to play for tonight. So we'll be back.
student gamers at Minnesota State Mankato, and we had a big idea. Turn our love of gaming into a varsity esports team. In our first year, we earned a national championship and created a fun and friendly community for both competitive and casual gamers. We're learning broadcasting, digital marketing, and live stream technology, skills that translate to real-world job opportunities. Everyone wins. Be a Maverick. Learn more at mnsu.edu. Student gamers at Minnesota State Mankato, and we had a big idea. Turn our love of gaming into a varsity esports team. In our first year, we earned a national championship and created a fun and friendly community for both competitive and casual gamers. We're learning broadcasting, digital marketing, and live stream technology, skills that translate to real-world job opportunities. Everyone wins. Be a Maverick. Learn more at mnsu.edu.
All right, welcome back. As we are going to be getting started on the draft of Map 4 here for League of Legends. Sorry about the mistake with the best of 3 or best of 5. We thought it was a best of 3, at least I did. But yeah, we're looking at best of 5. So we have match point for Maverick Esports here. As if we can get the draft shown up on screen here, we should be finishing up on the first set of 3 bans for each team. Um, Not anything crazy. Maverick Esports did choose to actually ban out the Karthus, along with Lulu. The Ezreal is actually getting banned out by DePaul, which is also interesting. But yeah, we should be able to see what's going to happen here. We'll see what happens. It seems like most of the games kind of been up to whatever top laner is really consistent here. And so it's possible we might see another Renekton. Now, kind of the big note of game 2 was both the Renekton and the Nefiri just had better lane matchups. So like they really weren't able to, or Maverick Esports was really just not able to do anything in those lanes. Um, so we'll see what the teams decide to go with. We are going to be looking at another Wukong here. Love to see it on our top laner. He's been just completely destroying with that last game on Wukong, just in the right place at the right time, and just doing exactly what he needs to do. But we will be seeing the Nautilus picked up for our support in the bot lane. Definitely an exciting champion to see. I love the engage that Nautilus has, and a very threatening presence, especially against something like the Smolder. The Smolder is not the most is definitely not a tanky character to say the least. So he can be very vulnerable to the engaged Nautilus. But looks like it'll be a Talia picked up on the side of DePaul. So I suspect it should be the mid laner there. That'll be very interesting what Maverick Esports chooses to respond to that one, whether they choose to pick early with the first pick or wait after the second round of bans and pick that mid laner towards the end. I suspect they should be wanting to counter early, but it's also possible they're going to want to select in or lock in what ADC they're going to be chilling on, because that is kind of the biggest thing with how these bans are set up. You get 3 sets of bans for each team, then you pick 3, then you have 2 more bans for each team, then you pick 2. So that kind of opening spot is going to be kind of really dependent on what picks you're going to choose. Saw the Yumi hover, but it is going to be Varus locked in. So it looks like it's going to be a Varus Nautilus bot lane. Very scary. But we're actually going to get a Misfortune ban from Maverick Esports. I questioned that one. I would have suspected her to not be played of yet. But I think what they're thinking is Smolder could be played in mid, so they're kind of covering that flex pick. But it should be the Rel down in the bot lane on the support role as we see Olaf getting banned. Now they have the Wukong. Now Wukong could play jungle. We've seen it already. And we've seen our top laner do very well on the Olaf, so they're looking to just get rid of that one, force the tank or force the top laner to maybe stick onto that Wukong. And it's going to be a Nefiri ban from Maverick Esports. Now, another character that's just kind of been running rampant. Now, the thing to note with the Nefiri was it was definitely a winning lane. They lane swapped early, so the Nefiri was into the Gragas versus the Yasuo. And so that was kind of the biggest problem for Maverick Esports in that game, and really just set him up for failure, unfortunately. But it's going to be the Karma banned out from DePaul, so we'll be seeing what we're going to be choosing for the mid lane, and it looks like we should be still choosing the jungler. Now, again, Wukong is that flex pick, so yeah, and like I said, it's going to be Maokai hovered here and locked in, so it could be the Maokai top. That's what I suspect. But again, those two could very well be interchangeable for roles. Both of them are very good top laners, and both of them could work in the jungle. Now, I haven't seen Maokai jungle nearly as much. We already saw Wukong jungle in this series, so it's not too surprising if we saw it again. But we'll see what DePaul responds with, as they still need to pick a top end jungler. So it looks like it's going to be Ivern jungle here. That'll be interesting. Whether that one will play out better for DePaul. It's very interesting comp. I mean, you have a lot of AP, it feels like. You have the tank and the Rel. Ivern's kind of tanky. But he's kind of just like a weird kind of character in that respect. But we will be seeing Renekton. There it is. That's going to be the scary character for this game. We'll see what mid lane chooses to go with. Whether it's going to be a little bit of a tank shredder or not is really going to be up for the question what they decide to choose on that one. So we'll be seeing, unless the thing is somehow bugged. Like, oh, never mind, we're good. So it's going to be a Vex mid to lock in on the last one. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, whether the Talia or Vex is going to play out better for the mid lane. The bot lane will be very interesting, very poke heavy, as well as, I mean, I think the Forest is the better poke, but Nautilus and Rel both have some insane engage to work with. And the jungle and top is going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. But again, we will be back in a few minutes for when we hit the rift. So don't go anywhere just yet. We got a few minute break. So we will be back soon.
right, welcome back, folks, as we hit the rift for map 4 here of DePaul University versus Maverick Esports. As we will be seeing what each team will choose to do. We've got the Maokai in the jungle, Wukong up top, and we got Renekton up top like I thought. So it'll be interesting to see the Wukong versus Renekton matchup. The Renekton's definitely been a scary champion to see on the side of DePaul. But the Wukong has been very, very good on our top laner. He's just been able to consistently find those openings for the picks of the fight with the Cyclone. So it's been very, very good. As we already see the Nautilus, and I think the game sound is not working currently, but the Nautilus, it did find the hook onto the Smolder and got a good amount of chip damage out of that one, but no kills or summoner spells to be used. So we will be continue going. I can't hear the game audio production. There we go. Now I can. All right. Slight technical hiccup, but we should be all good. I can't see the pop-up in the center, by the way, for the items. Try to get that guy up. Yeah, there you go. All right. You see the Nautilus actually get a hook onto the Smolder here, but again, no follow-up damage to be found on that one. Very interesting to see which one's gonna make the mistake first. It's gonna be trades left, right, and center. Very good trades from Wukong onto the Renekton, but the Renekton doing equally as much damage, and that is top lane for you right there. Top lane is an all-out brawl between the two. Very isolated lane, to say the least, especially with the recent map changes for the season and that's been around as on the top side there used to be a tribe rush similar to bot lane, but that has since been gone, and now you can see it's very hard to gank the top side, whereas bot is even easier to gank now on the red side. So very interesting map dynamics between the two. We'll see whether top lane will continue to be an island this game, or if there will be a lot more excitement. It's going to be the Nautilus actually finding some damage onto the Ivern. The Ignite is going to be burned. He's actually going to flash and get the root on him, and it's going to be the Maokai finding first blood only 3 minutes into the game onto the Ivern to opening up, and that's definitely what you want to see. Is Ivern is probably one of the weaker junglers earlier on. It feels like he really doesn't do a lot, as he has a very unique way of clearing jungle camps, as he actually doesn't attack them. He kind of just waits a little bit and then collects them, and I don't know. It's a weird champion. Definitely the most unique jungler, to say the least. So we will be seeing whether that will make a difference. He's actually going to go back down to bot lane, but Maokai's actually still in the river. You're going to see flashes from the Rel, are actually flashes from the Varus to clear away. The Nautilus actually might go down, but it's going to be Maokai that finds a route onto the Ivern. Ivern's going to go down to Varus here, with Nautilus actually still alive. The root lands onto the Smolder, and Vex is going to be able to find the final blow onto the Smolder as well off of that one. So that is a very good opening on this red side here for Maverick Esports, as already got 2 kills onto their Ivern and it's only been it hasn't even been 5 minutes. I don't know if that's it's definitely not the best thing to see if you're DePaul. I mean, dying 2 times in the first 5 minutes of the game is not exactly what you want to see. But they definitely were looking for that gank down bot, but unfortunately Maokai was still just chilling around and was able to respond in time, so no kills are to be found for DePaul here, as we will see
if the gank goes down to mid, he's going to be looking to gank this Vex here mid. Whether he lands a root, Vex is not able to sidestep it. He is going to actually burn flash. It's actually going to be the Talia that gets hooked here, and the Nautilus is just on top of him. The Talia is very low, but the Ivern's going to have to screen for him and is not going to be able to, or not going to be able to find the final blow onto the Talia, but will force the Talia out of lane. So it's going to give Vex plenty of free time to work with, as we got a little bit of trading up in the top lane between the Renekton and Wukong, but both of them are quite healthy. Both of them have sustain to work with, as Wukong has Grasp with the Undying, and Renekton just heals with like everything. And so the stun and root is going to come out onto the Wukong, but is he going to be able to get away from this one? He's going to have to use Flash. He has the Maokai here. The Cyclone actually goes out onto the Renekton. Renekton is not level 6 yet, and the Cyclone is actually going to land the final blow into the Renekton. And a very, very good play from our Wukong to find that opening kill on the top side, as the Renekton just didn't have the XP to be able to use Dominus, which actually is probably the biggest thing, and that's just an amazing timing for Maverick Esports. The Smolder is actually 1 HP off of that shot. Very good attempt from Varus. I kind of want to see how much HP he actually had after that one. But either way, still got plenty of time in this game overall. We've actually got one Void Grub up still. We only have the 2 collected, which is interesting. But we will see who's gonna fall down next, and we'll see how long it also takes for DePaul to get that first kill onto the board for him. As the gold lead is already shifted in a pretty good manner to Maverick Esports here. And it's not looking good for DePaul so far. Now, again, it is still very early, and we saw a similar situation with Maverick Esports in the last game, where we had the opening 2 kills on Maverick Esports, but they just were not able to keep that going in the early game, and just fell apart in the late game, and that's how they lost map 2. It's going to be the Maokai ult coming across, is going to land the root onto the Rel, and they are going to be taken down from the Nature's Grasp of Maokai, engaging onto them, and they have nowhere to go. As going to be another kill down for the bot lane, as Varus is just going to push the Smolder away, and the Smolder can do quite literally nothing about it. And that is going to be an opening for the Ocean Drake from Maverick Esports, as we're going to see the Renekton choosing to dash around. It doesn't look, he's going to land the stun, but he's going to use Dominus to just try to deal with him. The Wukong's going to give him the okay and run away. Give a little bit of thumbs up. Love to see that emote. That's probably my favorite emote in League, to say the least. But he is going to get that ult out from the Renekton. Definitely gives the advantage to Wukong, as that ult is probably going to be the main thing that's going to save Renekton at this point. Wukong has the item advantage and is just generally going to win the fight outside of that, as a Cyclone ult from Wukong is definitely going to mess with Renekton's day. It is going to be Maokai actually able to sneak into the bushes. But it's not really in the best spot, because it's going to be the Smolder that already backs away. So there's no need for the Maokai to really be there. So just wasting a little bit of time. But again, he's just going to back away. Doesn't have much to do either way. Now, let's see. I mean, I definitely think the biggest thing right now is really just going to be looking at that Inferno Drake, actually. So, we're not going to get Inferno Drake Soul, so, but we will be getting a singular Inferno Drake. So, we'll be seeing that in about 3.5 minutes. So, that's probably going to be the next thing to worry about. I do think Maverick Esports is better set up for that. As they do have the bot lane press. It's going to be a stun out from Renekton. The Cyclone comes out from the Wukong, as he's just going to be looking to force him away, and the Renekton is going to be forced to use his flash, as the Wukong is just a little bit too dangerous for him at the moment. But Again, definitely the thing to look towards right now is probably the bot lane. Whether you can get prio or not to give an opening for that easy dragon, or if it's going to be a real big brawl for that one. As right now the focus is chilling on top lane, making sure that's in check. We have a very, very low Renekton. It's actually going to be a 3-man push onto this one. It's going to be the Nature's Grass that might come out here. No, it's actually going to be the Shadow Surge of Vex. It's going to land the kill, but it is going to be the Varus that's going to go down in the bot lane, as he's just going to get collapsed on by 3 members of DePaul University. So they would be looking to trade plates of the top and bot tower, and actually might be the top tower that could go down. It looks like it's quite low. I don't know if they have the minion wave to really deal with it. They might actually. But the Renekton looks like he's going to get back. It's going to be the Talia's Weaver's Wall that's going to come out, but is going to force too much resources out of the Nautilus, and he is going to go down with 2 kills on the bot side here for DePaul. But it is going to be the Talia and Ivern with the kill credit on those. Now the Talia is definitely the one you want with that. Ivern, not so much. He's kind of just like a support jungler almost in a way. But the Talia definitely could be the scary champion for DePaul. Very strong kid with a lot of burst damage, a lot of poke. And it actually might be an engage here with plenty of damage coming out onto the Varus. Varus is able to survive through a lot of it and actually gets the Smolder. He's still alive though, as the Nautilus is able to come in, but is not able to save the Varus at all. But he might actually be able to pick up a kill. It's hard to tell. But not enough damage. But it is going to be the Varus that takes the Smolder with him. Not exactly the best trade per se, but no, it's better to take one out than to die without at least trying. Now we see the Talia TPing back to mid, not too surprising. Definitely getting back to that minion wave ASAP is really important. The CS between the two isn't too bad. There is this much more significant lead between the Varus and the Smolder, so definitely the Varus right now is the character to kind of protect and keep aware of, and that is just crazy movement speed from the Smolder, able to run away from the Nautilus hook there and is not able to connect. As that surely could have created a kill. But again, with mid, we do have the Vex on the 2-0, but Talia is also pretty equally there. So they're actually quite even when it comes to items. So it'll be interesting to see if either of them can do anything there. There's actually going to be the Smolder that looks to run away. The Nautilus is going to throw the depth charge onto the Smolder. Nature's Grass is going to come out, and he is going to go down. And that should be not a big enough minion wave. But they should be able to take that. They might be able to take the tower, just maybe a plate or two. But it's going to be Rift Herald. That goes down for the side of... It's actually going to be the Vex that uses the Shadow onto the Talia and is going to actually make a connect in a very good solo kill and just is completely able to delete the Talia off the screen. But it should be a free Inferno Dragon, or Inferno Drake, for Maverick Esports here, as they are looking in a very good spot right now, as it's going to be a Cloud Drake soul. Now the interesting thing about Cloud Drake is it's going to be giving you some wind circles around all the jungle, or around the 4 jungle camps of red and blue on both sides. It increases the speed when you're walking through them. So very interesting kind of Drake soul. Not exactly the most beneficial in the long run, it feels like, but that little bit of mobility in the jungle can be very beneficial for the team that just has better priority over the map. So as well as giving each soul going to give you more movement speed. So movement speed per se isn't necessarily the most beneficial, as it's not exactly directly tied to damage, at least not on all champions. There's a few champions in the game that do, notably something like Hecarim, where he actually gets damage for the more movement speed he has. So that's a fun little mechanic that's in the game. But unfortunately, no Hecarim on this map. So the movement speed is really just going to be a matter of which team can control the map better between them. It's actually going to be the Ivern landing the root and calling out Daisy on the Varus. Varus is going to have to use his flash, but it is going to be the Rel that just does not allow him to get away. So he will be going down, but it is going to be the Renekton that falls in the top lane. As they are going to take the top tower and clear the Renekton away. But it looks like they will be trading bot tower for it. Actually, Maokai has gotten the Rift Herald. I thought DePaul got the Rift Herald, though. He's actually going to go down to the tower shot, unfortunately. No minion wave is to be found. But it looks like Maokai does have the Rift Herald to work with, so actually they might be dropping it down in top, potentially. They could choose to do that. But for timing, keep in mind, we do have Baron in about 3.5 minutes. And we got Cloud Drake in another 2.5. So we'll be expecting. Oh, it's going to be Renekton that actually jumps over the wall, gets rooted by Nature's Grasp, but it's just going to be the Wukong running away. And Maokai is kind of just going to be running away as he has plenty of HP to work with. And just. There's going to be 4 people. The Rel missed Flash! Oh my god, you never. That's always the funniest thing. We flash into the wall, but it's unfortunate. But it will be the Maokai that's going to be surviving. Actually might make the Smolder almost fall here, but he is going to finally go down as he just is surviving for so long there. But we should be expecting both teams to focus a little bit on the bot lane. Oh no, the Nautilus might be caught out. He's going to have to use Flash. Now, you did see a Flash from Ivern as well, but he's going to prevent anything from really happening on this tower, it looks like. But you have Varus alone, chilling on the tower. It's going to be the Flash engage of the Wukong, getting the Cyclone onto the Ivern, and Smolder is also going to fall shortly after. Now it's just the Rel left alone. Now, it should be the... Oh, he's just not able to make the connection, but it's going to be the Vex that steers him back in the other direction, and he's just not going to be able to get away from this one, and he's going to fall, making it 14-6 for Maverick Esports, increasing the gold lead by a little bit, looking at a roughly 7K gold lead, if not, yeah, 7K gold lead roughly, as the Renekton is going to be unfortunately cut down by the Varus with the Wukong coming in last second to help him clean up the kill. It's going to be the Ivern actually get hooked. He's going to call out Daisy, but no follow-up to be seen. So Daisy's just going to be there to help clear out some minions. But he's always one of the more interesting champions. We have 2 champions that kind of call in a similar minion like that. We got Ivern and Annie, but I feel like Annie's significantly more significantly more aggressive, at least. Daisy is very much more a defensive kind of minion to spawn and has plenty of HP in its own. But Daisy, when you get hit 3 times by Daisy, you do get knocked up. So it's definitely not something to ignore. But it's going to be Daisy that disappears away. So Ivern will have to lead in a little bit. Not too big of a cooldown on it, though. But we'll see where this next kill is going to land, as it's going to be Renekton actually caught kind of out very low. It's going to be the Vex just completely finding him across the map, and is going to find Kalia maybe. Not able to, as he does not have the reset from the Shadow Surge, but that will be a Cloud Drake for Maverick Esports, as they will be actually pushing down into the bot tower. They might actually take it. Yeah, they actually will, but not enough to take the inhibitor, but that will get the tower down, which is very good to see, especially so early on. We have such a big lead with the 10-kill lead to work with. Having that early on is very good. It's going to be the Rift Herald spawn down to mid, so we could be seeing the mid push with them clearing out. Going to be the depth charge landing onto the Smolder, but he's just going to be running away. Oh, sorry, that wasn't Kalia that got hit for that one. It's going to be Renekton that falls. to the Varus, as it's just going to be CC run around. Wukong comes in with Cyclone to finish off the Rel. But plenty of Maverick Esports members are very, very low HP and don't have the HP to keep this going. It's going to be Ivern that's still chilling around. The Vex is going to be looking to poke him away. And maybe find anything on him, but they are going to prevent Maverick Esports from finding any connection onto that inhibitor tower. And a very good defensive fight for DePaul University, but not enough to find any more kills. Just enough to keep holding on just a bit longer. I think right now the biggest thing to note is probably the Baron. We have Baron up. Neither team is looking to go on top of it just yet. But we should be expecting Maverick Esports to just kind of be looking to control the top side jungles and look for wards and get kind of a free Baron here. Now, they have all 10 members are up, so it could be a very large fight here, but they are still waiting for their Maokai to come in. They're just chilling around in a bush. They might be able to find one out of position. They might find the Talia. Oh no, the Nautilus hook is going to miss. Definitely the emote to use after that one. We got the Soraka with a cup on fire. I love that emote as well, especially when you miss something. This is definitely fine, to say the least, as it should be a Baron taken from the side of Maverick Esports, as they're going to be starting this fight here. But it's going to be hard to, it's going to be interesting to see if DePaul can do anything on this. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to get close enough. The Vex is kind of out of position, but he's just kind of dragging away their attention. He's going to actually fear the Renekton. The Renekton is actually going to fall. The Renekton is just unable to control his character and just unable to do anything at all. And he's going to go down, as Baron is going to get taken by Maverick Esports, and they might actually be able to win off this one. Looks like one of them is going to back up, but the rest of the team is still up and ready to take this tower down. Now, if they get this tower, they should be able to get both inhibitors. But we do have plenty of members from the side of DePaul still up, so it's not just as simple as getting rid of that tower, as we're seeing already a defense starting from DePaul to keep that push going. So they're just going to take the tower back up. Looks like they're going to be looking to looks like they're going to be focusing down this top tower here, as if they can actually get all 3 towers, that could be insanely good pressure for Maverick Esports here. So it will be interesting. It's going to be a Cyclone engage on the Wukong, but the Talia is going to keep surviving for a little bit longer. The Smolder ult is going to come across the screen, but not really do anything too crazy just yet. It's going to be the Smolder that gets hits by depth charge. He's going to be too far for any engage, as the Vex is going to find the connection onto the Talia in the backline. He's actually going to get taken down. The Talia is going to find the Talia, and the Varus is going to find the knockdown on that. But Smolder is actually going to find the Nautilus after that one as well. Renekton's going to fall to Wukong. Varus is just still in the backline, just focusing down as much as they can. The Wukong dashes on the Smolder. Smolder is not able to find it. They are going to find the top inhibitor, and they should be looking to break all 3 inhibitors now. After that, I think they might continue to push here. We'll see if they choose to continue or just to back up, call it a day here, and look to get another objective. It looks like that is going to be what they're looking for. So they're just going to back up, look for this next objective on the Cloud Drake. Should be spawning in about 20 seconds here, and secure that guy, and just go from there. Yeah, I mean, as DePaul, you're just not in any good shape. Not only are you have less than half of their kills, you just don't even have any inhibitors up. So your base is extremely vulnerable, and you cannot ignore them. So you really lose a lot of the overall map presence. And we can see that with Cloud Drake just being the most free Drake of the game so far for Maverick Esports, as they're going to take that one down. They might actually be able to get Soul off the next one, but I don't think the game will last long enough to get the Cloud Soul. as we still have a little bit of Baron buff lasting, which is actually quite funny that it has lasted this long so far. But it looks like it is going to wear off already. So that was, yeah, so it's just the tail end of the buff. Not really going to do anything, but we do have 3 inhibitors, so plenty strong activity. As the Smolder ult's going to come out, not really make any connection on anything. And it's not anything just yet. DePaul is just trying to defend the tower. Daisy comes out, and it is going to be the Nautilus that goes to fall down. The Rel's going to knock him in, but the Nexus tower is going to fall. So it will be a very good fight as Wukong is just on their backline, on their Talia, and Talia is going to go down, and it is going to be also the Smolder that falls. Renekton is going to fall shortly after, and they might be able to find another kill onto the Ivern, as it is going to be the Maokai that falls to the base tower, as that will now be the series in Game 4 with a 3-1 win of Maverick Esports in the playoffs of the the College League of Legends. So very good stuff from map 4. A little bit of a hiccup in map 2 to say the least, but very good showing for Maverick Esports tonight. So thank you guys for tuning in. This is going to be this will be the end of the stream. So it is actually a best of 5, so we're good. It's not a best of 7 even. But yeah, so just a few more reminders. Definitely check out our merch. And thank you again for our sponsors for Maverick Esports, as well as making sure to check out our socials, whether that's on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, or Instagram. That was the one I didn't say. So follow us there to make sure you don't miss out on the next streams. We got plenty of games up this weekend or this week. Which ones we're streaming, I'm not too sure. Just stay tuned and you'll definitely be able to see them. But thank you again. This has been Moon casting for y'all. It's been a great time. So I will see you guys again soon.
Student gamers at Minnesota State Mankato, and we had a big idea. Turn our love of gaming into a varsity esports team. In our first year, we earned a national championship and created a fun and friendly community for both competitive and casual gamers. We're learning broadcasting, digital marketing, and live stream technology, skills that translate to real-world job opportunities. Everyone wins. Be a Maverick. Learn more at MNSU.edu.